Right, Saturday. Hello. Actually, probably talking to myself right now, but I'm just I'm going live because I want to test a few bits and pieces out, and the only way I can do this really is by being live. So if you're here or catching this on the replay, thanks for stopping by. It's nothing really set in stone what I'm doing. There's a couple of things I wanted to try out. Maybe a bit of Twitter Spaces integration and just testing a few things out live. So I thought I'd do that, and that's the reason for going live on Saturday, is just to mess around with a few things. So if you're here, say hi, tell me what you're up to. I am just testing the latest version of Ecamm Live Beta. With Zoom integration, I was going to test some Twitter Spaces nonsense as well, because I know you can go live to Twitter Spaces on the desktop, but I couldn't find a way of how to select your audio interface, which is great and useful. So yeah, tell me what you've been up to if you're here. And if not, I will just play some music. Might turn the volume up a little bit. And in fact, I have a volume set for sound effects. So first thing to add then on the Stream Deck. Let me do that. Stream Deck. I go live demo mode so you can. Whoops, it's the wrong screen. Why does it always do that sometimes? Let's go in the live demo mode. Let's go there. Okay. Stream Deck. Let's get the Stream Deck going. What do we do here on Ecamm is let's just add a dial. Input select. Oh, it's just inputs, isn't it? No, sound effects. Can I turn that up? Yes. Makes things a bit easier. Lovely. I'll turn the music up while I'm doing this. Oh, that mutes as well. Wonderful. Alright, first things first. Let's go to the second camera here. Let's do a bit of auto switching for now. Excuse me, alright. What am I streaming at? That's another question. What did I set this to today? I set my stream to... Okay. Set it to 1440p. Right. Let's try Twitter Spaces first. Let's log into Twitter first. Let's go to this, and then I'm just go to preview mode. I just want to see, first of all, where my Chrome is set here or not. Got a few, always move a few windows around when you do some work. What's happening? That's all right. Let's go to, let's publish that. With these program windows out the way, get camera switcher out the way. So what I don't understand with, so I'm going to just add Twitter Spaces here. I love a bit of Twitter Spaces. Let's go to more. So there's no option on Twitter Spaces to select what microphone you're using. How's that helpful? So does that mean I have to go to sound settings on my Mac? Let me just make sure I've got that set up. All I want to do is test this out. It's got live demo mode here. So here's my things. So my input is going to be Ecamm Virtual Mic, which is what I'm using now. Output is a Rodecaster Pro. Rodecaster Pro, Ecamm Live Virtual Mic, input volume is reasonable, so, okay. So if I went live on Twitter Spaces now, testing sound settings. I'm going to record the space just for giggles. So start now. This is probably going to break everything. So I'm not muted. It says it's recording. I don't even know if this is working. So I'm going to have to go to an incognito window and see if this is working. Probably not. Of course you have to log in, don't you? All right. It's time to do it on the phone then. Let's go on mute for a sec. Here's a strange thing. I don't even know if I can't tell actually if I can't even tell if I'm going live. I guess I'll have to listen to the live recording back. What's confusing about Twitter though is there's no indication of what microphone you're using. I guess it must be in the Chrome settings. I don't know. Alright, well I'll just stop recording. Kill the spaces. Okay, so Twitter Spaces doesn't... I must be missing something in the settings. So that's no use. I think it's called X or Twitter support now. Can't just be me that's having these problems with getting Twitter Spaces to work on the desktop. I mean, you have no idea what interface it's using, so what's the point in that? I don't know. I don't know what the point is, actually. That's a bit frustrating. So that's one test failed. Hey, Keith, how are you doing? Afternoon, indeed. I am just trying to get stuff working. I'm trying to get Twitter Spaces to work on the audio interface. And I have absolutely no idea how to select the audio interface when I go live on Twitter Spaces. On the phone, it's easy, it just picks up whatever's on the phone. And in the desktop version, which they've just added a few weeks ago, gives you no choices. Anyway, Keith, what are you up to today? You mentioned on one of the streams that you were going to start going live again. So hopefully that's going all right, or you're at least doing some testing or getting things sorted with yourself. Interested to know if you've been working with Ecamm Live Beta on Zoom, because I've tested a little bit of that out as well. So if you ever want to try coming onto a Zoom call with me, you're very welcome to test that out. It seems to be working pretty well. Thanks for hanging out. I am just going to do the next thing. So let's go back into preview mode. Just do a guest here for now. Do. Let's see what those volumes are doing. Okay. Let's publish these comments. That never pops in the right place, does it? So let's get a comment here. Back to live mode. Okay. Right, let's get a Zoom call going. Just setting up Zoom. Yeah, cool, Keith. No worries. Just give me a second. How do I send you this link? I mean, I don't mind. I can just post it here, actually. Or I can send you it via... are you on Facebook, Keith? Facebook Messenger, I can send you a link. Might be a bit safer to do it that way, I think. Let me, yeah, just let me know if you're on Facebook. On my, Let's test this out. Okay, Facebook. See if I can find your messenger. Just trying to find you. What's the best way to get in touch with you? Send you a direct link, Keith. I don't know whether it's on... I could probably do it on Instagram or something. Let me find you. I think you're on Instagram. I just can't remember where everybody is. Everybody's everywhere. Let me just log in. All right, no worries. Just doing it on your computer. Okay. Take your time. I am in no rush. I am just trying to see if I can get connected. Just get onto Instagram. See if you are around, and I'll send you a link. Ba-doop, doop, doo, 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 doo. I'll send you an email, Keith. I've got your email address. Let me just let me send you an email with a Zoom link. Just get Outlook running. Zoom links, Zoom links. All right, Keith, I've just sent you a link via email. Hope you get that. And we change the name here to Keith. And get you on here. Yeah, see what Zoom makes of it all. Nothing wrong with a bit of testing. Testing and live at the same time, so it's always good fun. Do, 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 do. Yeah, Zoom is always updating, right? Doesn't matter whether you just started off, never touched Zoom for 5 minutes. It's always an update. Always catches me out. It won't let you do anything, right? It says Zoom is updating. There it goes. Updates away. No worries. Had tons of updates recently. Yeah, Zoom, Zoom, Zoom. Hey Andy, how's it going? How did your Zoom testing going, Andy? Have you done that today? I'm just testing Zoom as well. If you wanna pop on Zoom with me as well and Keith, we're just having a bit of a mess around on Zoom at the moment. Yeah, Discord. Every time I fire up Discord, it's updates all the time. I think you were testing something out this weekend, Andy, right? On your podcast, bringing in some sort of Zoom guests with a back channel. Interested to see how that goes. I guess it's early for you in the morning at the moment. It's 4 o'clock here. I guess it's 11. Oh, you don't do any today? Okay. Okay. Well, if you're a loose end, you want to do some Zoom testing, you're very welcome to hop on here. I can always post the Zoom link to you. Let me send you the link via IG. I guess I can send it to you. Let me just find you on Instagram. Instagram. There you are. Let me message you. That's the meeting. I sent it to you on Instagram, Andy. Yeah, sure. Thank you. The more, the merrier. I'll admit you to the Zoom meeting. Hey, Andy. Hey, on the, how's it going? Let me add you to the broadcast. Bring you in here. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm actually sitting at a tennis match today for my for my daughter. Yeah.
Zoom
So
via tennis
I haven't
match.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, look at that. Is she just learning or has she been playing a while?
She's been playing a little while.
Cool. Cool. At least it's not raining for you. So that's good.
Yeah. Yeah. So I haven't done. So
go ahead.
I'm going to do my back channel this weekend on Sunday. So essentially it'll just be for like Patreon supporters. I'll have a Zoom open with muted on the roadcaster and stuff that's not coming through into the stream. But that way I can hear people. If they want to come on, they can.
Right. Sounds an interesting audio workflow here. So that'd be good.
Yeah.
Here comes Keith. Hey, Keith.
It's food.
Hey, Keith. How's it going? not connected to audio yet. Hello, Keith. Let me just add you to this. This is great. Hey, Keith, how's it going? Can you hear me? Word.
Hello?
Keith. Hey, Keith, can you hear us okay?
Why can I not hear you?
Not sure.
It's
Usual Zoom things, right?
Hello? Can you
Hello,
hear me?
Keith. Yeah, I can hear you fine. I can hear you. You can't hear
All
me.
right, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Yeah. You
Yeah,
can hear me?
I can hear you.
Hello. Okay.
Hey, Keith, can you hear us okay? Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, there's a bit of latency going on there. We've got Andy as well on the call, Andy Lehman from the team.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Neil, do you want to spotlight yourself so that way it doesn't
Yeah,
bounce around to
I can hear
speaker?
you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's going on. All right, just give me a second. Spotlight.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, there's a bit of latency going on there. We've got Andy as well on the call, Andy Lehman from the team. All right, spotlight for everybody now. So what's the issue with some of this
I can hear you. Yeah.
this feedback here? There seems to be a bit of feedback going in.
I wonder if he's got his YouTube or Instagram or something still playing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Keith, can you just kill YouTube in the background? Because I think we're getting a bit of a delay and bits and pieces going on, if that makes sense. And then you could just hear us on Zoom then instead as well.
Don't know what's up. It keeps on saying join meet.
Yeah. I mean, we are. So you should be able to join us on. You are in Zoom, so you don't need to be on YouTube or anything like that. So can you
hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you okay. But
I can't hear you on with this. I can't hear you with the Zoom sound.
I'm not sure why then. Maybe you got your audio set up incorrectly on Zoom.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, the problem is on Zoom I can't hear you.
Right. That is a bit weird.
So let me have a look. Trying to find the settings.
You can hear me okay, right,
Zoom.
Andy? There's something weird on the Zoom side from me because I've lost a couple of separate connections now on here. I only see
where's the settings?
Zoom virtual mic on my microphone here.
Audio.
You can still hear me all right, Andy?
Yeah, I can hear you, Neil.
Okay. No worries.
Headphones road. And I hear you now.
Can you hear me all right, Keith? Hopefully in real time.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
All right, perfect.
it was in the settings. That was the problem. So I've got no feedback now because I did have feedback from YouTube.
Yeah. It's always
Neil, I've actually got to jump off.
No worries. Thanks, Andy, for joining. Take care of yourself. Enjoy the tennis match. See you soon. Cheers.
Yeah.
I'm going to put you on here, Keith. 1 second. Let me just do host.
Yeah.
Where have you gone? Hang on a second. Host and one guest. Let's bring you on here. Select. All right.
That's better.
How are you?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you finally face to face. I know we've had sort of virtual chats, but how are you?
Yes. All right. Thank you. Yeah. I've just got back from the home because I had to put the wife in. She's got vascular dementia and she had to go in home last Monday because I just couldn't handle it. She was getting up in the night and walking out the front door and, you know.
It's not great, is it? It's not great. My auntie, unfortunately, had dementia for quite a while, and she sadly passed away last year. But yeah, it was tough for my cousin to deal with that, and eventually, you know, there's only so much you can do, right? It gets too much.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Yeah, you know, I mean, you know, so I go up most afternoons.
Right.
For usually go up from about 1:30 till about 4 o'clock, but she was getting tired, so I left a bit earlier today, and I came on, and you're on, so I thought, well, I might as well come on to YouTube.
Why not? I'm just doing a bit of testing today. I've just been playing with this Zoom integration for a while, and so on. And yeah. Oh, and I forgot to say hello to Joseph. So hello, Joseph. Joseph is one of my friends and customers who've been working with for a while. He's based in the US, so Joseph's been doing some work with Ecamm as well. So you've been doing video production for a while. I read in your bio, Keith, and you sort of stopped for a bit and so on. Video stuff.
I started in 1988.
Oh,
I started my own video filming business. I did weddings. I did commercial work. I did parties. When I first started, it was I had a Panasonic camera and a separate recorder on the old VHS tapes. So you can imagine
one of those big heavy things, right?
Yeah. And I retired in 2003 from the wedding production company. And when YouTube came out, I went on there, but I've never really bothered about it. I mean, I've got 3,170 subscribers, but it's a hobby now. And, I'm not worried about making money. I enjoy live streaming. And I, because I'm 74, Neil, I look at things and I think, if I'd have been 20 years younger, I'd have gone out and produced good films. Because I mean, I've got 7 cameras here.
Blimey.
I've got two desktop PCs. I've got my laptop. I've got 2 iPads. So, and I've got all the equipment. I mean, when I was in the wedding business, I had the jibs and everything, but I've got rid of them. I had all the lighting, all the wireless mics and everything. So I enjoyed my time doing in the wedding business and commercial jobs. I back in 1995, I had the idea of doing video quizzes on DVDs. I got companies to sponsor it. So I used to go around and give the DVDs away free. I used to copy 1,000 a month. And I used to give a prize of £250 out. There was 20 questions on it.
Back in the day.
I made quite a bit of money out of that. And then I went to Spain on holiday and I took a couple of DVDs with me and I sold them to the bars over there. So, and Portugal, there was one in somewhere along the Algarve I went to. He bought a DVD and he says, "Cool, hell, this is a good idea." But because I was a one-man band, I couldn't really do it. Whereas now, with the internet, you could get people all over the world go, "Can you go out and produce 10 questions for me?" And then have a, because I didn't do the question, I did it video wise, I mean, I used to go out and film and ask the question, where would you find this statue? Or where would you find this? Like you walk past places and they might have a flower on the side, on the gable or something like that, or something that tells you who the builder was. So locals would know, but people like me and you wouldn't. So it was an interesting thing, that, as I said, now with the internet, I mean, I look at quiz channels and how well they do. I mean, quiz, and your quiz that you do through Creative Amplifiers, I think it's fascinating because you've got to listen to the interview that you're doing with a person, and then you pick up on what you're talking about, and you design the questions from them as well, don't you?
Sometimes
I find it ever so interesting.
Oh, thank you. I mean, we just wanted, when we tried to do that, when we started off doing the show, we thought, well, we don't want it just to be an interview show. We thought, well, could we just put a little bit of trivia in there, a few quizzes? A lot of people now, I can see, adding quizzes to their live shows because it just mixes it up a bit, and we take the interview part of the audio part of the interview at the end, and then just repurpose that and then cut out all the rest. So when we do the live show on YouTube, it's just a bit of fun. So we have the creator showcase and the things like that. Yeah, and it is always nice to see the faithful stopping by. So we do appreciate you stopping by and listening and stuff. If you ever want to be a guest, you can nominate yourself, and come on and talk about your story, because I find
I'd love to come on, but the only thing is, I mean, I haven't because I'm on PCs. I haven't got a Mac because I've always worked on PCs. Right. I mean, I did work. I worked for a company down in London on Macs. I mean, he used to have about 10 of us cameramen go out every weekend,
right,
and film weddings, and then we used to go back, give him the mini DV tapes, and he used to sit in the studio and edit them all week, and I got £300 cash in my hand.
Right.
So, but he had an accident and he invited me down to his studio. So I spent 6 weeks in the studio, sleeping on the floor, editing all the wedding videos. But that was an experience because I'd never used Final Cut Pro until he showed me how to, so.
Yeah,
but that,
exactly.
I mean, you're going back to 2000, 2001, 2002 when I did that.
Right. So, I started my journey on Final Cut, whatever the version was it 7 or I can't remember. It was way back in the day, and then they had Final Cut Studio for a while, and then they did Final Cut Pro, as they call it, Final Cut Pro 10. So you don't have a Mac then? You're just basically you're a PC user, but you come onto the various shows and listen into, because I know you're around on various people's shows and the Ecamm family and stuff. So you don't use a Mac. But how did you get sort of introduced to what we do and things like that?
Well, because
I tubes.
I joined Leader because I thought to myself,
right.
I've done Leader twice, and I'd always been good behind the camera. I was never relaxed in front of the camera. So I joined Leader 2021, something like that. Met Marcus, Lala, became friends with him.
That's nice.
Supported their channels, and then I supported all the others that I made friends, because I mean, in Leader you can't watch everyone because
that's right.
Only so many come up, and all those that came up, I've made good friends with them, and hopefully I'll be able to. I plan on visiting Marcus sometime if I can, because I mean, I love traveling, because I mean, I've been to the States. How many times have I been to because I had the wedding business, we used to go to the States November for 6 weeks, and then April for 6 weeks. So I've flown into Seattle and drove all the way down to San Diego, going into Tijuana. I've done from New York all the way down to the Keys. I've done Route 66, but I've never done Chicago down in the middle to Texas. But I've done from flew into Atlanta and drove from Atlanta to Texas, Houston in Texas, and all like that. We've done China. I've been all over Europe driving. So I've got hundreds of DVDs, because I mean, I started filming in 1988. So I've got Croatia, Dubrovnik, all those before the war came on. And I keep on thinking, should I convert them through Handbrake and put them on my channel and give me something to do?
Yeah, some content,
because the wife was bad, I just haven't, I haven't done anything for 3 months, because it's
a full-time thing. Absolutely, it's a full-time thing. So hopefully you might get back into either video editing or live streaming. And as you're on a PC, then I guess you'd be using, if you're doing any live streaming, you probably use OBS or something like that, right? For your live streaming?
No, I use EVMux.
Oh, EVMux. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's like because it's web-based, right?
Yeah. Is what interested me into EVMux. Plus, it's got it's got they've got apps now, like they've got the Bible app on. So it's got the YouTube app on. So when you put a YouTube video on, it's just the video. It cuts out all the rest.
Oh, right. That's
and it's $25.99 a month. So
that's pretty good then.
Yeah, which is good, because I mean, Tim uses Ecamm, and it's, as I said, if I had a Mac, I would definitely use Ecamm.
Yeah.
But OBS is good, but you can't bring people in. They've got to be through another source like Zoom
like
and
that. Yeah,
yeah,
it's a bit of a pain.
That,
like in vMix as well. vMix you could use for the PC, but vMix is quite expensive. I think it's like $1,000.
expensive, yeah.
I think it's 1,000 plus, something like that. And it's probably a bit of overkill for what, if you're just a single person with a camera, just talking headshots or bringing in videos and doing reaction stuff like that. It gets a bit much, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wanted to do a show similar to what you do, but instead of having one guest on, having 3 guests, but not at the same time, having one on, you talk about what their channel's all about and their interests, then fetch another one on, and then fetch a third one on, and then at the end, you have all 3 on, and then you open it up to a Q&A
like Graham
with
Norton,
the audience. Yeah, like that. Yeah, because they're interesting. Yeah, and then you've got your quizzes. You can do, because I'd like to produce a show where you've got like quizzes, you've got 2 or 3 guests on, you've got how to do things to make it a lot more interesting. I'd like to see, like on your channel, when you've got somebody on, a guest on, how they go out or how they produce their videos or their live shows, because we can all learn from that. And it's just because I watch a lot of live shows and I think, they're all much the same. I mean, you stand out, really do stand out with the 3 presenters on, because that is different.
Thank you.
Entirely different.
We're all in different parts of the world as well. Well, I know Mark's not too far away. He's only in the UK, but it's still like it's still an international show. We've got 3 time zones effectively. Messing around with. Just want to say hello to Florence, who's joined us. So hello, Florence. Thanks for joining, Florence. So Keith and I just having a chat, and we're actually doing this on Zoom. So Keith is coming into my Ecamm production right now via Zoom, testing the Ecamm Live Zoom integration. I have to say it's pretty good, and you're coming in at a decent resolution, and it sounds okay to you and looks okay. I mean, I've spotlighted the production, so you can see you and I side by side at the moment and things. Yeah. So
see, I've got backdrops if I bothered putting it up, but I haven't put it up.
It's impromptu.
I've got 2 office backdrops. I've got a beach backdrop and everything like that, because I've never liked green screen. So I used to, if you go to any printer, they'll print you a 7x5 photo off. It's about 90 quid it cost me. And then you just hang them up and you've got a backdrop where you haven't got the green screen effects. So that's what I like about it.
It's like Lion when we interviewed him. If you remember, Lion Flood that we interviewed last week, he has 2 canvases, right? So he has effectively 2 canvases and stuff like that. Florence, if you wanted to join us on Zoom to do a bit of testing, that's all I'm doing right now. This is not like a proper live stream. We're just messing around here. So you're very welcome. I can send you the link if you want to join. Just let me know in the chat. But back to green screen. It has a purpose, especially when people don't have, anything, right? I mean, it's easy. I messed around with green screen years ago with a blanket, a green blanket to see if it would work, and tried to key it all out in Final Cut Pro. It was awful. My hair was worse than it is now. It was fringing. It looked ridiculous. So you've got to have a decent lighting, decent flat green screen, and things like that to get things working well. But it's great.
So
go ahead.
So what's your background then, Neil, in video production?
Well, I actually did a bit of video and audio stuff probably about 10 or 15 years ago. Usual messing around with things like that. I actually had a YouTube channel years ago with a friend of mine. We called ourselves Old Gold Tech. It's still out there somewhere. And it was all about retro stuff, because I'm from the 80s. I'm 54 now. So I was born in the 70s, and 80s was like my era with the ZX Spectrum and Commodore 64 and all those home computers and things like that. I loved sort of those, trying to make games and things like that. But then I started sort of playing around with that, and I had my first camera was like an old little, I think it was a Canon I want to say like a high 8 video camera, something like that.
Yeah.
With the little tapes. So that was why I first
Yeah.
started. And then into digital, I watched Vincent Laforet's Reverie video, which he was done on the Canon 5D Mark II. It's like, oh, it's a DSLR, but he's doing video.
Yeah.
You can't do that, right? So that changed everything for me. So I saved up and bought myself a Canon 7D, and then I just started getting into that. But my background really isn't audio and video production. I've done a lot of music production in my days, just an amateur. But my background is actually IT network engineering. I'm a network engineer by trade and did that for 35 years and then quit my job last year to do more of this. So that's what I wanted to do, like teach people a little bit more about Ecamm, learning stuff and following my journey and all the mistakes that I make and things that I can learn from. Then that's the way that I was sort of trying to do this. And then met a lot of people through Creator Camp and Ecamm and just joining the Facebook groups and just answering questions and asking questions, and it's just nice to network. And it's a different world for me. The corporate IT world is just like a thing of the past for me now. I really enjoy the collaboration, the people in this community. Everybody's there to support each other, and it's a different.
Well, I mean, when you look at, I mean, I interviewed a fellow creator 5-6 years ago. And he did OBS tutorials on YouTube, and his channel blew up. He got up to 40,000 subscribers, and he's gone off the scene. Don't know why. He just stopped. And he was
have enough. Yeah.
And I've got a friend who lives around the corner. 8 weeks ago, they had 213 subscribers, like Marcus.
Right.
And he started talking about DWP, PIP and everything like that.
Oh, Department of Work and Pensions.
This is, yeah.
Okay.
Benefits in the UK. That, as I say, 6 weeks ago, he had 213 subscribers. He's now up to 10,700 subscribers, and he's getting views of 50,000.
Yeah, see, it's a subject that really resonates with people, I guess, right?
Yeah. He does lives, and he gets 2,000 to 3,000 people in.
Jeez,
you
need a moderator for that, don't you? That's
yeah. And then
and drive you crazy.
Following another channel, Nigel, Primal England,
right?
And he just does daily vlogs. He takes his dog out for a walk. Talking about the slow pace of living or doing hobbies is beneficial for mental health.
Yeah.
He had 2 weeks ago, he had 460 subscribers. He's now up to 4,200.
That's amazing.
Because one video took off and he got over 30,000 views. You just need one video to take off. I've been, as I say, I was on here in 2005. But didn't actually start doing my channel till 2020, and I'm up to 3,170. But because I don't upload regular and I've stopped doing live streaming regular, I haven't lost any, but it stayed at the figure.
It makes a difference, I think, doesn't it? The consistency and stuff. And I was the same as you. I've had my channel since 2000 and. I'm just trying to think now. 2015, 16, something like that. And I just did a few vlogs, a few bits of tutorials and things. And if you don't upload, nothing's happened. But in the last 5 months, things have slowly started to ramp. I was only on 300, 400, and now on, I think, 1,100 and something, which is great. I mean, it's like, wow, what happened there? And it's nice. And the more people you meet, and the more consistent you are, I guess, and people sort of know who you are. Florence.
Well, I mean, I watch all your videos that you put and your live stream. I might not be there, be able to come on, because sometimes, I watch it on the TV and I haven't got anything there to comment on. And I look and I think, your channel, and you are at the right age to grow because you've got the experience in teaching and IT. you know, the tutorials you do are very, very interesting.
Thank you.
You know, and your channel will grow, definitely.
Thank you. I mean, I'm not in it for the sort of, oh, I need 20,000 subscribers. If it grows, and the way I look at it is, if I can help people fix a problem, because I've been through it, right? You know what it's like. You're trying to solve a problem, and typically I'm trying to do tutorial videos on issues that I've had personally to try and get things working. And I think, well, this might be interesting, it might help somebody else. And sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it doesn't. It is hard to come up with ideas though and be consistent. And I think the live streaming does help though, because you can bring people on like yourself and have a chat about things. And I love hearing about people's journeys, especially into video and stuff. So, I mean, what's next for you then? What are you planning to do? I know obviously now your wife is probably in a better place and being sort of looked after and things. So what do you want to do? What do you want to do?
What do I want to do? I've been thinking about things, and I thought, because I like traveling, I thought I've got a friend who always travels in business class.
Right.
So I put it to her, I says, let's do travel from your point of view, and then travel on a budget like me.
Right.
And so she said, oh, that's a good idea. So we're going to do a few live streams about that. And then I was thinking about starting a vlog, how to survive on £40 a week, because now the wife's in the home.
Yeah.
There's a cafe, because I live in Cleethorpes.
Right.
There's a cafe in the high street that I can get a dinner every day for £4.50. I get two.
Wow.
They do beef, pork, and turkey. You get 2 slices, whichever one you pick. You get a baked potato, a roast potato, carrots, peas, and cabbage, gravy, and a Yorkshire pudding for £4.50.
Taken care of then. That's really good.
Yeah,
so that'll be like 30 odd quid a month, a week. Sorry, something like that. Yeah.
35 quid a week, 7 days a week, five quid. Well, £4.50.
Yeah, it's right.
Yeah. So I thought that then saves on gas, electric, washing up, and everything like that. So I thought, should I start vlogging about that? Because then the only thing is, because I've cut out tea and coffee, I have a cup of coffee in the morning and a cup of tea at tea time. So I'm using 80 tea bags, which last me 80 days. I use 1 spoonful of sugar. So I've worked it all out, got it all written down.
You've got a channel there,
and I thought, definitely. So I thought, should I do it? Because we did a live stream about how to be frugal, about 8-9 months ago, and we got over 500 views on it.
See,
and so I thought, there's a lot of people. Yeah,
especially with everything going up, right? Everything in the prices. Let me just quickly say hello to a couple of people. Sorry, real quick. So Paul has joined us. I'm very honoured, Paul, that you're here today, Mr. Moderator. Thank you very much for stopping by. And
Madam Paul.
And thank you, Florence, as well. Yeah, this microphone does mean a lot to me, and I did post a video about it recently. So and thanks for watching that and everything. So that's cool. So why not use these things? You know, you only live once, so why not just do the things that you enjoy and love? But back to your idea. A lot of people have. So I live in Portugal, as you know, and originally I'm from Wigan, so I'm not too far away from you originally. And a lot of people do move here for that reason. They want a better quality of life. It is cheaper to live here and things like that. And with Brexit and all the stuff that's gone on in the UK and the electricity prices going through the roof and the cost of living going through the roof, people are looking at ideas and how do I possibly sort of live a reasonable life on less? And if you can provide some techniques and things like that, then
it's like I used to go away for 3 months to Agadir, or we used to, me and the wife,
right?
And I rented a place, a 2-bedroom house in Agadir, or just on the outskirts, and that cost £100 a month. So for 3 months, I could go away for £300. Okay. You go in the souk, you could get, 3 months, you could get 300 pound, 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 300 po a kilo of apples, a kilo of oranges, a kilo of whatever, potatoes, and it used to cost me less than £1 for salads and everything like that. Water cost me £5 for 3 months. Electric is, and it's because it's Agadir is Tenerife's 30 miles off the coast of Agadir.
Yeah, not too far at all. Yeah,
temperature. So we used to get, and that used to save, because my winter bills, non-existent really. My water rates had gone down. So I know how to live.
Good.
Ignore my comment, Neil.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. I think he said my volume was low and I was just trying to work out what the deal was, but not a problem. Not a problem. That's okay.
You got a mixer then?
Yeah, so I everything audio wise for me goes through the Rodecaster. I've had the Rodecaster for a while. I do music, as I said, so my keyboards and bits and pieces go in there and things like that. So everything's routed through there. All comes into Ecamm, and then Ecamm's got its own sort of mixing desk here as well, and so on. And this is what my setup looks like at the moment. So you got the mixer down here.
I know that. That's why I'd love Ecamm. Beautiful. I might treat myself to a Mac.
I think you should treat yourself to a Mac. Sell that PC nonsense and get yourself a Mac. And there's so many people here can help you just transition very quickly. Boom, you'll be up and running before you know it.
I've watched all the videos, so I'd soon pick it up.
Treat yourself.
Yeah. It's just that, I think to myself, do I really want to buy? It's like, my car's 6 years old. It's only done 35,000, and I think, should I change it? And I think about it. No, it's like I was going to Cyprus on Wednesday, £1,599 all inclusive for a week. And then I sat here and I thought, I better cancel that. I can go on 3 or 4 coach tours.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Just give me 1 second. So Paul's saying I am sounding softer than Keith. Let me just mess around with my mixer. Just 1 second.
So what's my sound like then, Paul? Because I'm about 6 inches from the microphone.
You actually sound all right.
I always think I talk too loud.
I think my Rodecaster was on a very low dB setting for this microphone, so you can hear me a bit better now. Yeah. So Paul, just let me know if that sounds any better. I'm hoping I can see my meters are a little bit, they're peaking a little bit better than they were before. So I'm hoping that's better now. So well, there you go. This is why we do these live streams, right? Test out, and then at least I'm not on mute, which I typically am, and things like that.
Tim's like that. The number of live streams he started where he's been yapping away for 5 minutes, and there I am in the comments going, Tim, can't hear you, can't hear you. Put the slider up.
Mute. I know, and the thing is, thanks, Paul, so that's better. Thank you very much for saying that. And Joseph, you're still with us as well. If you want to test out Zoom for Ecamm, Joseph, you're more than welcome to join us if you are in your studio, ready to go. The more the merrier. All the way from sunny Texas. You can join us if you want, Joseph. So I can send you the link if you just give me a nod on the chat if you want to join us on Zoom here to test this out. You're very welcome. I'm probably stretching the limits of my Mac at this moment, but I've only got 2 people on using Starlink internet. It's fine for your end though, Keith, right? Everything seems to be okay from what you can hear.
Fantastic. The sound is great. All right, you was quiet, but Tim's always quiet in Ecamm because he never puts the slider up, and I'm always going to turn it up because when he does the interviews, I've got to put the sound bar on the laptop.
Oh, I see.
To be able to hear him.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
So it's always better to turn the volume then.
And I've changed microphone as well. It always gets a bit confusing. I normally do a test recording and things before I go live, but today I was just messing around. I wasn't expecting your good self to join, so it's even better. So the more the merrier. So how long have you lived in Cleethorpes then?
All my life, 74 years.
All right. Okay.
But I'll tell you a bit about myself. I left school. I worked at Peter Dixon's paper mill, which was the local paper mill in Grimsby. My uncle started a mobile fish round, and he earned, I was earning £8 a week working in the paper mill
wow.
at 16.
£8 a week.
Yeah, I know. Well, you think back then how much, I mean, and then he started a mobile fish round, and he went out 3 days a week, and he earned over £1,000. So my head went figures. So I went to, I hired a van, got 20 stone of fresh fish, put it all in ice, went down to Banbury in Oxford because my relatives lived there, and I sold it in 3 days. And I came back, and after paying for the van hire and everything, I made £1,300, and the average wage was only like £40. And then I did that, sold that after 2 years because I didn't like the smell of fish.
Right.
Then I went into selling broken biscuits.
Broken biscuits?
The £7 boxes of broken.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
wow.
from
United
Biscuits.
Right.
And I made a living out of that. I don't know whether I should tell you what I did after I packed that in, because I got a mate who used to stand outside secondary schools, and he only had a
sounds a bit dodgy
car,
at this
and
point.
He used to sell Durex.
Oh, okay.
So I thought, he's making a fortune here just for standing outside of school for an hour a day. So I did that. I started buying those, and I did very well out of that. And then video started in 1988.
Hey, Joseph. Sorry, just keep 1 second. Let me just get you connected here, Joseph, to the program. 1 second. You might have to switch off Zoom or the YouTube channel, Joseph, because that causes all kinds of nonsense. Let me publish this. Let me bring you into the show. 1 second. Hopefully you can hear me. There is Joseph. All right. Hello. Let me just get this.
Hello, Joseph.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
This is great to see you. Look at this. We've got a full complement of people. My scenes aren't set up. I'm not ready for this at the moment, Joseph, as you can tell. But that's what we've got to keep doing. We've got to keep messing around with everything.
I'm looking wonderful.
You are looking good. Nice to see you. So Keith meet Joseph. Joseph meet Keith. We're fully international again today.
Hello, Joseph.
It's a pleasure to meet you. I love that accent.
Yeah. So whereabouts in Texas are you?
I'm in a town just north of Dallas called Plano.
Oh yes, I've been through there. Yes, because I've been to Texas about 3 times, but I've never flown into Texas. I've flown into like Atlanta, Georgia, New Orleans, and then where else did I flew into just on the border of Florida, and a small little airport, can't remember the name now, but I've toured all of Texas, so beautiful state.
That's saying a lot. We got a whole lot of state to tour.
Yeah, and it's the only time in all the driving I've done in the States that I've ever been stopped by a copper.
In Texas, that's not surprising, is it, Joseph?
Not at all. How'd that work out? You're still alive, so
yeah. Well, I wasn't speeding or committing any offence. He just pulled up behind me and put the blue lights on, and I thought, "What's up here?" And he just stopped me and asked me where I was from. That's all he did. He says, "Where are you from?" I says, "From the UK, Cleethorpes." Oh, and that's all he did.
Yeah, if you mention the word Cleethorpes, I'm not sure if he understands where that is or even what that is. So he's like, okay, that sounds like a foreign place to me. So
yeah, Cleethorpes is on the east coast of the UK, about halfway up from London to Newcastle.
Yeah.
Grimsby is the adjoining town, and it used to be the largest fishing port in Europe. Yeah, we could. When I was a youngster, we used to walk across from the pontoon across on trawlers all the way to the north wall. Now you go down, there's no fishing boats. All it is with the biggest place for offshore wind, turbines.
Oh, turbines and things. Oh, right.
Yeah. We've got we've got two great big offshore places just outside the River Humber, in the North Sea. So it's brilliant.
So here we all are. This is interesting. So Joseph, just for your information, you're probably aware of how we got this set up at the moment. So this is Ecamm's beta integration with Zoom. So hopefully you're seeing the three of us as a 3-up on the Ecamm production. You're just basically coming into Zoom, and I'm just adding you as a camera into Ecamm, and that's it. There's no interview mode, nothing else. So all the bells and whistles that you can add in Zoom with the voice isolation, the noise cancellation, the decent quality audio, and the good quality cameras that you get, sort of because Zoom seems to be better at providing sort of video quality depending on what setup you've got. And I managed to get a pro account with a colleague of mine from the Ecamm world. So now you guys are all coming in at sort of 1080p quality. So you're coming in at full resolution, so even better than what you would normally get in interview mode. And the quality's okay for you, Joseph, and your side. Obviously, you're way over the other side of the world and so on. But it's okay?
Actually, it is. I see a slight delay, but I'm really liking what I'm seeing in terms of quality of image. And I don't know how the sound is coming through, but I'm able to see Ecamm. Plus, I'm also seeing Keith and myself in the other screens. So I've actually had a couple of, it looks great as long as it sounds well. It is probably a substantial improvement.
It is. I'm sorry, highly delighted with it. The quality is superb,
It looks really good. So the delay that you're seeing is, there's no way of getting around that unless we're all in Zoom, because I spoke to the Zoom people about it, and there's been a couple of threads around it. And it's basically because we're bringing in the video into Ecamm, and Ecamm's then pushing its feed back into Zoom. So there's about a quarter of a second delay. But if you're watching everything on the Ecamm view, as long as you don't get distracted with yourself in the Zoom view, then it should be fine. And that has always been the case for me as well with being on interview mode with Ecamm. That Chrome browser where you sometimes get that delay and you always have to tell people, well, hang on a minute, there's going to be a little bit of a delay here. But for me, you guys are coming through perfectly. The sound is always in sync and everything. And I'm recording and streaming and bringing you in at the same time in Zoom. So I'm sort of making my Mac work hard today just to see how that works. But I think moving forward, Joseph, potentially for your podcast and things like that, it's going to be an easier workflow for just sending a Zoom link and people just pop in because they're familiar with Zoom, right? There's nothing to do. And you haven't even got your microphone, your decent setup or anything, and you sound good. You're just on your Mac, I think, right?
Absolutely. I'm using the standard MacBook Pro, no mic, no accessories. So this is just the computer's camera and its own internal mic. So
sounds really good.
The one I use with in the clinic for therapy mode, and the broadcast suite is way over there in the studio.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I wish I had a studio. I'm envious.
So Keith has done lots of video production in his day as well. So there's a lot of synergy here between the three of us. I know because Joseph in the past has done video production and wants to get back into that again. We all take a different turn, don't we, with our career paths. And here we are, full circle. Oh, there you go, DVDs.
That's one of about 50 wedding DVD things that I've got.
Let's see, Keith, you've proven yourself to be a brave man. I've done a half a dozen weddings and realized I would never do that again.
Yeah,
that is tough. I've vowed never to do wedding photography or videography, either of those things. No, thank you. Oh, there you go.
that was done on young people on the lake in the canoes.
Oh.
So I filmed that. That's I used to do adverts for businesses on DVD and put them out free to people, and charge the people who wanted to go on that. Then I did another one selling cars.
Okay. Right.
This is before the internet came on.
So did you start in the mini DV world? What was the platform?
I started on the old VHS with a camera and separate recorder. And then I went on to Video 8. Then I went on to mini DVD, mini DV, and then mini. I had a mini DVD camera where it was a small DVD. And then when digital came out, I went on those. I've still got all my cameras in case anybody wants any old things changing over.
Yeah,
kept them all. The only thing is the batteries don't work.
Yeah,
because
that's difficult to get.
I didn't keep up the charging the batteries up, but plug the cameras in and they work perfectly. So then I had a 9.5 cine projector. I had a standard 8 and a super 8 because I used to do the old films onto DVD. So I've done all that, but I had a studio in those days. Yeah. Now I've only got a 1-bedroom flat now, and I've got nowhere to put anything.
Oh yes. Well, you certainly predate me. I came in just at the beginning of mini DV and had the over-the-shoulder news style cameras.
Yeah.
ABC DY 500s for a while, and then finally upgraded to studio, and now got the Sony A7 IV.
Oh, nice.
But back in the day.
I'll leave that. Just so one. How do I turn it off? Wait a minute.
What's that?
I'm busy. I'll phone you back, Keith. I'll get it back.
That's his agent.
Yeah.
That's his agent.
I'll get it back.
Or stockbroker, one of the two. So what time is it at the moment for you, Joseph? It's like 11?
11:21.
All right. Well, it's very nice of you to join us on this impromptu live stream testing of Zoom. I've been wanting to get a couple of people on, just particularly in different parts of the world, just to see what the quality of Zoom was like and how easy it is. I mean, they've made quite a few changes recently to the beta setup, so they're just adding more and more. It's good. I mean, all comments come in. If you're doing a live Q&A, the questions and answers will come into the comments. So anybody who's popping questions on, even on the Zoom chat, comes into the Ecamm chat now as well. So you can chat on Zoom and bring that in. So I can do a chat on Zoom and say, hello everyone, and then everyone on Zoom would see it, and then I can then bring that straight into Ecamm. So you can see the icons change. So now I've got my Zoom icon coming in at the bottom of the Ecamm feed. And there you go.
Oh, that's good.
I am not seeing the Zoom chat windows. Why?
You're on Zoom though, right?
Yes.
It should just still be there.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know, on the Zoom app, it's just
down at the
under
bottom,
more.
Joseph.
It's under more, I think, Joseph. Zoom has upgraded recently. So it's on the Zoom window where we all are.
Show chat. Oh, view show chat.
There you go. Okay. So you can see hello everyone on the Zoom chat, and then and if you send a message back, there you go. So
mine's on.
Yeah, you've got yours on, and there you go. And then same for Joseph. So they can all come in. So this is great. So even people on YouTube. So anybody now that's on. So if you're multi-streaming to YouTube or to LinkedIn, to Instagram, and to Zoom at the same time, everybody's chat is just going to come into this. So it's opened up a lot more possibilities now for collaboration and so on.
Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant, isn't it? And as you say, when you do your creative amplifiers then, do they come in at 1080?
No, so at the moment, they're only coming in via the Ecamm's interview mode, which is locked at 720. So in the future, we'll probably switch to Zoom once this has probably been released. But, I like testing beta software. I just say we do it now. But why not? Why not? But, for other things that are coming up, definitely, I'm going to be playing with that. It is really good. Do you have any questions, Joseph, on this? Anything about the integration and so on? Because it's pretty seamless in terms of setup.
I'm just going to pull my cable.
No problem. No problem,
So
There you go.
Can't see a
So
thing.
basically right now, everything I just did in Zoom is going out through YouTube and everything.
Yes. Yeah.
That's outstanding. Let me see. 1, 2, where's my camera? 1.
That's better. I can see now.
Maybe a 1 second, 2 second delay at best.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it shouldn't be that much, but yeah. But I mean, you're not hearing any delay though. You can, I mean, in terms of you can hear us, right? And things like that. There's no, yeah.
Yep, you're perfectly in sync.
Right. And you are on my side as well. So whatever's being broadcast out to YouTube and back, either to the multi-streaming, wherever we're doing it to, it's perfectly in sync because whatever's coming into Ecamm is being sent. It's just the back sort of view that you're seeing in Zoom. Yourselves will be fine, and all that. If we had like 30 Zoom participants in here, everybody would be in sync. It's just this Ecamm window that's been sent back out to Zoom because I've spotlit it for everybody is the one that's going to be slightly delayed for the people on Zoom. But for people who are coming in by other means, for example, if there was people coming in by the standard interview mode, and you can mix and match as well. So technically, what they're saying is you can have up to 10 people coming in via standard interview mode, as we've discussed, with an additional 8 people from Zoom. So you could have 18 participants in one production. My internet wouldn't cope with that, but the opportunity is there. I mean, you can mix and match them as well, which is nice. So people prefer to come in the interview mode. They can if they don't have Zoom. But I mean, Zoom even works on a browser now, so there's no real excuse for that. And one thing I didn't realize about Zoom, by the way, is if you have a 1080p Zoom account, so as the host, and if people have a free account where they only have 360p video resolution, everybody that comes into that 1080p host account will all come in at 1080p. Because Zoom gives the priority to the video of the host, not the people that are coming in, which is really cool. So you get better video quality using a hosted pro account. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I'm on the free account, so, you know.
Well, your camera, and you can tell in Ecamm, so your camera, if I click on your camera effects, your camera is coming in at 1080p. Yeah. And for Joseph, I think it should be the same. I think actually, Joseph, your system's maxing at 720 at the moment because you're on the webcam for some reason, but I don't know. But either way, I was testing before, even with my wife has got a free account as well as a test. We set up a free test account, and that was the same. I was like, well, it's all coming in at 1080p then. So it's great. It's good quality.
Great, isn't it? Yeah, fantastic.
Can you adjust cameras?
Yep. Right. So your camera, so I can zoom you in, do whatever I want, change color. So it comes in the same. I'll just go into live demo mode. It's going to get freaky because you can see everybody. But basically, the camera effects down here, let me just get my mouse on here. So the camera effects are the same. So zoom and pan. So this is you, Joseph, here. So you're coming in just into the camera effects as before, and you can see the resolution there. And it tells you the resolution of the camera that's coming in. For Keith, in his case, you can see it's 1080p. And so on. And then over here is the sort of main Zoom window. So you are the Zoom participants in the main Zoom window at the top here. All the comments are coming in here as normal. And then you've got this is just the standard Zoom window. And it's a bit freaky because it's a picture in picture in picture. But you get the idea. This is the main Zoom window here for everybody. Yeah. So, and that's it. So I'd encourage you to download the beta Zoom, Joseph, and play around with it because you're an Ecamm user. We can test it out, and when we have our chat tomorrow, you'll come into my Ecamm account via Zoom again, and we'll mess around with it. And again, you can just add cameras just as before. You know, you can just have everything that we normally do. You know, Keith and I with one guest at 3 up, and then I got Martin. Martin was doing some testing. He was been where are we? Sorry, he's been doing like host and 7 guests set up here. Where is it? 7 guest chair.
Okay,
so
three guests were more than I could handle the other day.
Yeah, so. I know. Well, that was a great show. I mean, so much. Let me just go back to the 3 of us. Where have we all gone? See, I don't know about there you go. That show was great. Lots of feedback. And you've had many more views as well recently. I think you're up to like, is it 200 or something now? Then those are people who have watched it afterwards, right? So that's the thing.
I think it's about 230 right now, so we're getting about 15, 20 views a day.
That's really good.
The issue was that widespread, and I'm getting tons of emails from folks asking for another episode of that. So
there you go. And it's funny, Keith was just saying as well that, if you pick a particular subject that resonates with somebody, it only takes one video to push the subscriber count up and for people to take notice of you and saying, well, you've obviously got something interesting to say. It might be controversial subjects as we sort of typically deal with, and if it resonates with people, then they're gonna watch it. So yeah.
So Joseph, can you put or Neil, can you put his channel in the YouTube comments?
I can.
So I can go follow Joseph, because when I meet people, I always never unsubscribe, because it don't cost anything to subscribe.
No.
And I try and watch everybody, but you can't. I mean, I follow 2,500 channels.
Oh, do you? I don't know how you. Well, I'm impressed.
You can't possibly watch them, but if they come up in the feed, and then I'll watch them.
Right.
But there's about 20 channels that I follow religiously. The only problem is like Marcus. I follow him, everything he puts up. I follow everything, and I hit the notification bell.
Right.
But I never get a notification.
Right.
YouTube used to be good at notifying.
I see. Right. Yeah.
So I would always recommend to anybody, if you're friends on Messenger or on Instagram or any of those, just send out a message that you're live and the link.
Yeah.
Because YouTube doesn't send notifications out all the time, even when you press all the notifications.
Understood.
So that's what I do. If I'm doing a live, I've got about 50 in Messenger that follow me on YouTube. So I just send them the link out. Whether they come in, that's up to them, because I don't expect anyone to come in. If I'm doing a live, if I don't get anybody, I'm doing the live for myself.
Well, that was the way it went today. I was just testing. I didn't expect anybody to, and you fine gentlemen just decided to turn up. I've just put Joseph's link in the chat. Jeremy's joined us as well. Hello, Jeremy. So you did. So I didn't see this. So DJ Strick does some. He's an Ecamm guy, and he does lots of interviews with people. So he had 8 people via Zoom last week. That's interesting. Okay. Yes. So how many of you had, Jeremy? That's what I want to know, because Jeremy does this type of testing and stuff as well. So yeah, it's all good. But yeah, I'm thoroughly impressed so far with the Zoom integration. I think it's been a great integration from Ecamm, and it's just going to get better as they do more work with it and things like that, which is great.
So does Ecamm now go out in 4K?
Yeah. So this is at 1440p. This is how much my internet can handle, I think. So I'm at a widescreen resolution as well. So I'm at 2:1 aspect ratio, which is I can't remember. It's 2880 by 1440. I think is the resolution. I don't do the 16:9. I prefer to have more sort of space on the width, just because it looks a bit more cinematic. Jeremy doesn't have that many friends. Well, if you ever want us to come on your show, Jeremy, and join, you can do. I mean, this is... If you want us to all join your Zoom, Jeremy, and do some testing, just give us a shout.
Anytime.
Yeah, this is what I love about the community, though. We have so many nice people that will just jump on and join and do some testing. I was actually trying to test Twitter Spaces today, because Twitter Spaces is allowing you now to go via the desktop. If you know what Twitter Spaces is, it's like Clubhouse was. It's an audio-only broadcast. So you can go live on Twitter, but just from an audio perspective. So you can go on your desktop or your phone, talk about stuff, and you can bring in co-hosts. So you can nominate people to be a co-host. They can come in and join. People can nominate themselves with a raised hand to then come and speak and just talk about subjects and things. And a lot of people have a lot of sort of Twitter Spaces and get sort of a lot of, I don't know, comments and views and relationships that way. But they've introduced this way of doing it via the desktop, and it's not working for me at the moment. And we have Eileen as well. Hello, Eileen. Everybody's joining today. I should keep this running all day. It's the first 24-hour stream from Portugal.
Have you ever done a 24-hour stream?
I don't have the stamina for that. I'm 54. I have no stamina for a 24-hour stream. I can't stay up 24 hours.
I did one, 6 years ago through Hangouts.
Right.
On OBS.
Oh, did you?
And yeah. I mean, I wasn't on screen the full 24 hours, but as long as you've got guests who are willing to run the show for an hour or something, you can have a breather. But it wasn't my stream. I was on a live stream called a Granny Monster, and she used to live in Texas, and she did it to. It was a fundraiser for some homeless person.
Oh, right. Okay.
And she raised quite a lot of, and there was people from all around the world coming on.
Wow.
And it was ever so interesting because, I mean, she must have had, 300 guests on that day, on the 24 hours from all over the world. And they raised the money to get that homeless person a place to live and everything.
The thing is, you can't always
shows you
capture
the power.
Right? Yeah.
Shows you the power of the community.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say you can't always stream at the right time to capture everybody. It's difficult, particularly with a model that we're in. It's hard. But I've always tried to work out, what is the best time to go live? And it's difficult, especially being here in Europe. It's like, do you alienate some of the European folks by going late at night to capture more of the American? But I've noticed sometimes maybe 5 o'clock my time is pretty good because it's afternoon East Coast and barely in the morning for the West Coast people. So some questions. So Threads doesn't have, Joseph, at the moment any. I feel like I'm hosting a show. Threads doesn't actually have at the moment any integration for any live streaming. They're not doing any live streaming on Threads at the moment, as far as I'm aware, unless they've just started doing it, because they're just making it mainly as a sort of a Twitter rival to have more text-based, thread-based workflows as yet. People have been asking for it. And that's interesting because what I'm thinking they're doing is that's why they've removed, or Meta has removed, this Facebook group integration with live streaming. I think they want people now to do more of the Instagram live streaming because it's all the same company, right? So you've got Instagram, Threads, and Facebook now. And Instagram recently gave everybody the live producer component of Instagram. So you can go live to Instagram now from Ecamm as well and get all the comments in if you really wanted to. Yeah. And I think that's the platform of choice for most people, unless you've got a Facebook page where you can go live into that Facebook page. But currently Threads, as far as I'm aware, and Eileen's on the call and she knows everything about social media, may know about that. But as far as I'm aware, Threads doesn't support that at the moment. My testing didn't go very well, Eileen. She asked me about the Twitter Spaces testing. I couldn't get any audio to come out. I was using Ecamm's virtual mic, and the problem is I have no way of selecting which audio interface to use during the Threads setup. With the phone, it doesn't matter because you just use the phone, and the phone only has one interface. But yeah, for this, I don't know. And you said that Chrome changed the way that you set your default mic. Okay, I need to look into that then. That's probably what the problem is. Probably my default mic is something that isn't being registered by that. So there you go.
Are you going out on Instagram right now?
No, I'm just going live to YouTube. I wouldn't put you through that. And keep in mind, Instagram is 9:16, so it's a vertical aspect ratio. So we'd all have to be literally on top of each other to be able to see that. So it's a very different experience. And I think if you're doing very targeted messages to people, and there maybe is 2 guests, then maybe Instagram is a way. But the thing is, Ecamm doesn't have a way at the moment to do a 16:9 widescreen to YouTube and a 9:16 vertical at the same time. So you have to compromise. So yeah, if I sent this out to Instagram, which I could, we'd all be, I think we'd just be seeing you, Joseph, which is not a bad thing, but we'd just be seeing you. That would be it. Yeah, so you'd be there'd be 2 like voices either side of you and nobody could see us, which is probably not a bad thing.
Do you, in your opinion, do you like vertical live streaming?
No, not really. No, I think it's quite restricting. No. There's a couple of thoughts. if you do vertical live streaming, you do get a lot more reach if you go to if you do vertical live streaming to YouTube, because YouTube will instantly take that vertical live stream and throw it into shorts.
Yeah.
So the people that are just doom scrolling through shorts may come across you in a live stream.
But I look at Marcus being live streaming in vertical mode, and his channel is not growing.
No, I mean, it could be detrimental as well. And keep in mind, the people, and this is no disrespect to the internet, but some of the people that you'll get doom scrolling on shorts at crazy times of night are maybe not the type of people you want to be on your live stream. Right?
Yeah.
You know, there could be a few crazies out there. Maybe more work for you, Joseph, which would be fine. But, you know, because Joseph is a psychiatrist. But, but it's, you've got to be careful. And especially if you've got a channel that you want to be, you're being respectful to people, you probably will then need a moderator to moderate the chat in case it all goes horribly wrong. So Eileen has given me some advice here real quick. So she's saying, you don't have to even set a mic in Chrome. You only give it permissions to the app. Okay. Yeah, it is. It is set as permissions. This is what the strange thing is, but there's no way of verifying which microphone to check. I just need to do some more testing. And Florence, you're still here. You're still hanging in, Florence? I can't believe that. It's great. Thank you so much for listening to us rambling on. It's great because we have a live stream about absolutely no topic whatsoever, but we're just still here. I do appreciate you guys here. On it. People would join it. Yeah, I do appreciate you joining as well, Keith and Joseph. You know, I mean, feel free if you need to drop. But I'm happy to have you as long as this live stream's going. I just want to see if there's any glitches or anything. But so far, so good. There's been no glitches on my dodgy internet here in Portugal, as it's raining as well. What's the weather like where you are today, by the way?
It's sunny, 22 degrees here in Cleethorpes. Cloudy though, but it's warm.
Joseph, is about 104 degrees in Texas right now. Is it okay?
75 degrees. I don't know what that is in Celsius. With the rest of the world who knows how to do proper math.
About the same temperature.
Yeah, it's
roughly about the same
temperature. About 22 degrees. The same here as well. It's about the same here, but it's just a bit raining, so it's not too bad. You know. It's a national pastime. It's a national pastime in the UK to talk about the weather, but you know.
Yeah, and I do like the Starlink, you know, because I was thinking about should I go to Starlink? No, you know, but see, because I do everything on the cheap. I'm with Virgin, but I've only got like the basic. It's 35 meg download speed. It's the upload speed. I only get 5 meg upload speed, so it's all right on. Like this, it's all right through EVMux, but if I did it through the computer with OBS, it would drop that many frames. But
no, you need around 10 or something like that, 10 to 15.
Yeah.
Well, I had absolutely no choices. When I moved to Portugal, we were promised that you would get fiber connectivity to the house. And it's the usual thing in Portugal. It's like, oh, you live in the middle of the ocean, you can get fiber. It's just a running joke. You know, you can get fiber anywhere. You live on the moon, you can get fiber. You know, they'll just tell you anything to sell you the fiber. And then when they came out and the guy said, it's a really nice place where you live, in the wrong physical location to get fiber. He said, it will take you 100 years to get fiber connected to this house. I said, well, I can't wait that long. So the customer that I was working with at the time for an IT organization, he said, have you heard of Starlink? I said, what the hell is that? And then he just sent me the link and said, this might be useful to you. And Starlink had just launched in Portugal. So we ordered it in June and it arrived in October, and it's just been life-changing because now I was getting 1 megabit per second download and 0.5 meg per second upload if I'm lucky, because I was on a 4G dongle with an aerial outside my house, you know. And now it's 300 and something down and about 55 up, and the latency is only around 42 milliseconds. The ping response time, which is fantastic for internet. So it's fine. I mean, it serves a purpose. I couldn't work with Joseph or your good selves or do any live streaming if I hadn't had Starlink. So we may not have met if I hadn't got Starlink. So I've got to think of it that way. You know, it's crazy to think how things happen in your life to give you sort of opportunities to work with people and stuff. So yeah.
Nice. I'll be quiet about my fiber internet then.
Oh, stop it. You've got Yours is very fast, isn't it? Is it a gig or something?
Oh yeah, it's about 800 up, 800 down.
Oh, so it's synchronous. Yeah.
Yeah.
You should be hosting. You should be hosting your own internet service provider, Joseph. You could get people. You get people to pay to come into your house and say, "Oh, I need to use some of Joseph's internet." There you go. You can definitely stream a lot then. Well, we'll have to test those 18 people on your show, Joseph, to see if we can get 18 people in there.
That's okay. That's okay. I think the 3 I had, 4 total of us was more than enough. I might be able to add one.
Right.
More than that, but it was a lot to manage, and then it was also so nice to look down at the counter and see it go over 50. And I thought it was broken at first, that there had to be a mistake, and then they stayed 55, 60 people.
That's great. Yeah, and I was checking on Restream, because on Restream you can see who's watching with what channel. And as I mentioned to you, the majority of the people were actually on YouTube. There was 3 or 4 on Twitter, but 99% of them were on your YouTube channel. And it was great because Joseph and I just did a live stream last week. Well, Joseph, I was helping produce it, but Joseph's the talent, not me. I'm just behind the scenes guy. And Joseph's count was just like tick, 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 tick. And this started on the first 20 minutes, right? And then it just went slowly up and up and up, which is fantastic.
It really but you were there too. I don't know if you noticed, I accidentally hit the wrong button and you went live for a second.
Oh, did I? I didn't see that.
I've now learned to drag the technical button down 1 more row so I don't.
Oh, I didn't even see that. So that was good. I wasn't picking my nose or anything, was I? I wasn't just sort of like, sort of I should go take my camera offline as soon as you go live. I'll just maybe switch my camera off just in case. So are you thinking of doing another show then with the same people plus one other, you were saying?
Well, I might have a couple of different people and bringing one of the original cast back. Cool. To talk about this and kind of approach it from different angles, but we'll see. Really want to give it a think.
Give it a think. That's the best way to do it. Yeah, well, lots to think about though, and now you've got the opportunity to bring people in from anywhere, specifically using Zoom, which might be easy for them as well. So it might be worth doing maybe a test run, not actually going live, but maybe bringing a few people in just to try it on your side and see how you work with it. But it's pretty easy, and people are more familiar with Zoom, it might be helpful. Yeah,
well, I would definitely use Zoom in Ecamm.
Yeah, definitely.
Coming in at that quality, you can't beat it.
Not now. I know it's pretty good. I mean, you do have to have the right account. So whoever's hosting it is the one that needs to have the account. But there's lots of sort of plans and things and so on. But yeah, even when I tested with the lower quality, it was very good. So don't get me wrong, even with the free account's the free account, and it will never max out at 720. But if you're on the pro account, I think you have a pro account, right, Joseph? You pay for Zoom. So if you pay for Zoom, you'll have a pro account. Yeah. So you're getting at an absolute minimum 720 just with a pro account, and then you can upgrade and so on and do whatever. But it's a good deal. I said to the Ecamm team, but I don't think they can't do it because of restrictions. I said if you offered Ecamm Pro, which included a subscription to Zoom to give people 1080, then they could do that. But I think Zoom's T's and C's doesn't allow them to resell Zoom. It has to be Zoom that sell you. I don't know how it works, but there you go. So Eileen was saying, have we done a LinkedIn audio event? So that's another type of event where it's just an audio only broadcast to LinkedIn. So you don't have to be on camera. You don't have to shave or even wash. You could be in your pajamas and go live, which is how I used to do most of my remote calls without camera days. But that's another option to go just audio, maybe to get a broadcast out there or a podcast or something like that.
So have you ever done a phone in then, Joseph or Neil? When you've done a live stream, done a phone in?
No.
Oh.
That's an option. Not yet.
Oh, you can do it through Ecamm then.
Yeah, you can. You can use Skype or some other things, and you could actually have like a virtual telephone number on Skype, and then you could bring Skype into Ecamm. So you could say like, call this 1-800 number. We'll get some callers in, and so on. So there's lots of ways of doing it. And with the Rodecaster, because you could actually do it with your phone as well, because the Rodecaster will connect to Bluetooth to your phone. You could bring your phone in, people could be on the call. It's almost like having a radio show, isn't it? In the olden days, where you'd have the radio callers come in and say, "Hey, caller, how can I help you tonight?" Yeah,
because Tim's joining forces with a Forces radio guy.
Oh, right.
They're going to do phone-ins on the show, and he's it's only just starting. He plays music on it at the moment, but he wants to fetch in a lot of veterans. It's in the UK, but he wants it earthwide, so worldwide. So,
that's interesting.
I'm looking forward to watching that develop and see how that develops.
Yeah, but phone-ins are interesting because you could just do an audio-only broadcast as a phone-in.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do that on Twitter Spaces as well, technically, because anybody who's on Twitter could just come in via the phone as well, just audio. Yeah. But there's lots of things now. Yeah, we'll have to think, because maybe that's something for your other channel, Joseph, for just doing audio stuff.
That's exactly what we were thinking with the Midnight Medic, is to
do phone-ins,
audio from LinkedIn, but phone-ins as well. So got to get down to get back to scheduling that.
Lots of options, but you've been busy with other things like life and jobs and stuff like that. So, but I guess we'll talk about this in detail tomorrow. We'll go through what your plan is for the year and see if there's other things to do. And it'd be great, Keith, to see you potentially going live on EV Mux or doing other things as well, and see what you're up to.
I intend getting back to doing lives because I enjoy doing them.
Yeah, well,
it's finding. I don't like just doing. I like your format with creative amplifiers. I like to produce a show that is going to draw people in. I mean, unless you're in a niche like I watch Anfield Agenda, and 6,000-7,000 watching him when he goes live. It's Liverpool,
Yeah, Liverpool Football Club, right?
Yeah. And he gets that many. Can't keep up with them,
That would be unmanageable. 6,000 people. I just can't imagine the chat.
No. Just goes that fast. You can't register it.
Yeah, it'd be insane.
Yeah, but you look the graphics he's got, because he must have a green screen,
right?
But he's well worth it, And he's been, I think he went over to Boston and did the show over in Boston live.
Yeah,
and I think he's from Dublin, I think he's from Dublin, but he's a Liverpool supporter, and his channel's got 260,000 subscribers.
That's crazy.
But it's not that. It's you look with getting that many in. It's how many super chats and things like that he's getting. I mean, there was one guy in there last night, $100.
Right, it's the super chat.
That? 80 odd pound.
Yeah. So this is where people can just give you money during the chat, but you have to be monetized within YouTube, and you have to reach a certain threshold to be able to do that. I think, right? So you can't, not everybody.
Yeah. You should have super chats on your channel.
I'm not monetized yet. Because I haven't got enough watch hours. So it's not just 1,000 subscribers. Now I have to ramp. You have to get 3,000. It's 3,000 watch hours in a year. So I'm getting there. Got 2,500 now, but before, because I didn't really have any subscribers, it's amazing how a few videos can just start to creep that up.
So if I put on my 3 computers and put a playlist on, that's how I got mine. I just asked the community.
That would work. That would be very nice. That would work. Yeah. Cheat the system.
I just said, can
randomly play me. God.
Yeah. Because you don't have to look. You just put it on, turn the volume down. I've got I've got 2 desktops. I've got the laptop. I've got the iPad. So that as long as you've got a long enough playlist, so I can leave it running all day and all night. And you think you've got 4 computers running a playlist, 11 hours.
That soon ramps up. Yeah, it soon ramps up.
It soon ramps. And if you've got a community, you just asked, and within 2 or 3 weeks, you can reach your hours just by asking.
That's true.
Because
I know.
If you don't ask, you don't get. Now, some people will do it.
That's true.
Some people won't. That's how Tim got up, because he asked. I says, and plus, like me, I've got 3 accounts, 3 channels.
Right.
So I just run them on each different channel.
Oh, I see. That's a good idea.
So I can run, sometimes I can run like three channels watching the same thing. So
I see. Right.
So I could put 3 screens up on the computer running one of your playlists, and and it does all 3. And if I did it on all me things, instead of getting 44 hours, you'd get
you're right. I'm with you.
200 or 300 hours.
I've got a few playlists. Say again?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Gentlemen, I'm going to have to take my leave of you both.
No problem. Thank you so much, Joseph, for
It's
joining
been
us.
nice meeting you, Joseph. And I will, as soon as the broadcast is finished, I'll support your channel as well.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
care,
Keith.
everyone.
I'll speak to you tomorrow, Joseph. Thanks for stopping by. See you later.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I will. There you go. So let me bring you back up there. Where are you, Keith? There you go.
That's it.
So Jeremy says, sorry. Go ahead.
Go on.
I was just going to say, so Jeremy's saying it would be great to have Ecamm to have text overlays act as variables that could be populated based on certain values, like a guest name. Yeah, so instead of having to, because, I always have to add your name into here in these overlays. Yeah. There's no way of adding variables and things and stuff like that. And Jeremy, if you're still watching, if you want to join us on the Zoom to test it out right now, you're welcome. I am just messing around at the moment. Keith and I are just hanging back. I don't have a pint of beer next to me at the moment. I was going to say it's a bit early, but it's not at 6 o'clock already. So there you go. Same time for both of us. Same time zone. No, same time zone in Portugal. We're same as, like, it always confused me when people say in South Africa it's the same time. Like, no, how can it be? You're in South Africa and it's the same physical
same time.
line.
Same. Yeah.
So talk to me about this.
That's the thing about Cleethorpes. We've got the meridian line going through Cleethorpes.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, of course you have, yeah. Blimey. Yeah. So talk to me about your food sessions then. So you can go any day of the week and get this meal, or is it in the mornings?
No, it's open 7 days a week from 10 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon. So they do an all-day breakfast with a cup of tea and 3 rounds of toast for £5. They do beef casserole, chicken casserole, sausage casserole, all for £4.50.
Right.
They do meat pie and chips. That's £6, and the curry's £6 with rice. And then they'll do beef burger and chips. That's £6. So as I say, I can go and eat there for £35, £40 a week.
Fantastic.
Well, so you think that you've got no cooking, so I'm not using electric or gas. I'm not washing up.
Yeah, I mean, it's usually cheap for you, right?
Yeah, I usually go about 2 o'clock. So
right. Oh, so you've already had your food today.
Oh yeah. And then I might have a sandwich about 7 or 8.
Cool.
So, but it's when I look at, because my brother lives in Sittingbourne in Kent, and he came down, and for fish chips and mushy peas special around the corner at the local fish shop, £3.90. And he says I'd pay £18 in Sittingbourne for that at the fish shop.
I'll tell you some prices in a minute, which will make it scary. Sorry, real quick. So Eileen, I've just sent you the link on Instagram to the Zoom. So if you just click on that link, I can bring you in. Are you all right to hang around for a bit longer, Keith, or do you need to disappear?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I'm enjoying it.
All right. Well,
you're getting me back into getting
there you go.
enthusiastic.
You see? Exactly. How long have we been going? This live stream is the longest live stream I've ever done. I just thought I'd let you know that. We're on 1 hour, 50 minutes now. So this is great. So anybody else that wants to join via Zoom, you're welcome to. This is not only testing the Zoom integration, it's also testing whether my internet can keep going and so on, which is fine. It's been fine so far. So, Jeremy is out there. If you want to join Jeremy, let me know. I'll send you a link.
So how many we got viewing at present?
Just 4. Just 4 people, I think. But it's not always 100%. It says 4, but I think there's 4 people still here. People dip in and out, Oh,
yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, it's like Mary Lou, innit, or whatever her name is.
Yeah, Mary Lou, that's right, yeah.
Yeah,
hey, Eileen.
I mean, it's as she says, people do drop in and out. I mean, I don't. If I'm watching a live stream, like I watch Marcus's and I watch your Creative Amplifiers and your live streams, I'm on all the time. I might not watching all the time because I might be doing something, and then I listen, you know.
Hey, Eileen, thank you for joining. I think
She's
you're on
got
mute.
Joseph there.
No, you're not Joseph. Hang on a second. Sorry, Eileen. I need to just change this.
That's so funny because that's my grandson's name.
Oh, is it?
So I know Eileen's from the States, but whereabouts?
Philadelphia.
Oh, Philadelphia. It's always raining. Is it always sunny in Philadelphia or something? Is that the thing? Right, let me just... Jeremy wants to join us as well. It's like a party. I got a Zoom party going on, Eileen. You saw it's all kicking off. Thank you so much for joining, by the way. It's so nice of you to join. Let me find Jeremy's... Oh, it's so confusing how to be on Facebook, Instagram.
Thank you for spelling my name correctly.
Oh, you're welcome. I've messed up your name a couple of times, so apologies for that, but we should be good now. Where is Jeremy on
I've spoken in chat to Eileen, but I've never... This is
we never meet to each other.
Right. Yeah, well, it's nice to see you, Keith. Wait a minute, Keith, what's your last name?
Grimmer, Grimmer. Grimmer.
And I normally see you in the Ecamm group.
Well, I'm always on Neil's. I'm always on Marcus's. I'm always saying hello to Lala.
He's everywhere. This guy's everywhere.
Yeah, Lauria you know, I can't pronounce her name. You know,
Lauria Petrucci. Yeah.
Yeah. And who else do I follow on? Matas from the leader.
Am I delayed? Are you seeing any delay with my?
No. So the problem is, Eileen, it's just the Zoom integration. So as you're coming into Ecamm, you're perfectly fine, but the Ecamm's sending the video back out, so there's probably a second delay, and it gets a bit confusing. But you are perfectly in sync, sounding good. Here comes Jeremy. It's a party. I don't have enough scenes. Give me a second.
Okay, so let me just tell you really quickly, because I just found out recently that I could.
So the problem is, Eileen, it's just the
Is that Jeremy
integration? So yeah, I think Jeremy might be. Jeremy, are you listening to us on YouTube?
There you go.
Yes, I am. Give me a second.
All right, no worries.
I just found out that you can just come on Zoom from the browser. Yeah. I haven't been doing that for years. Well, most of the time, people don't give me that link that I can get.
Right.
The link that you don't get an option. So anyway.
No worries. I'm going to ask out a few more guests here. 1 second. This is so confusing.
Okay.
Where am I? Oh my gosh. You're all it. I don't have a
We'll have to apologise on behalf of Neil because he's not used to Ecamm.
Yeah, I'm not used to Ecamm. No, I'm not used to having so many people join. Just give me a second, Jeremy, and I'll just set this scene up. I'm just going to preview mode. Just give me a second, and I'll just talk amongst yourselves.
Should I play the tone or something like that?
He can't do it, Jeremy. He's not
ambidextrous.
Yeah.
That's the word you're looking for. All right, 1 second. So, Jeremy, where are you joining us from?
I'm in Seattle.
Oh, okay.
Whoa, lovely city. My favorite city in the States, that.
Yeah. Are you on Switch?
No, I enjoy where I live. It's not as big as Seattle. It's only a small town, but it's big enough.
Perfect.
Where do
I
you
could do
live?
without the weather.
Where do I live? I live in a place called Cleethorpes in the UK. It's 200 miles up on the east coast from London, and it's 180 miles from Cleethorpes to Newcastle, and it's 260 miles from Cleethorpes to Edinburgh on the east coast.
Okay.
There you go.
Not Keith, it's Jeremy.
I know, I'm changing. Don't give me a hard time. I tell you, for a live stream that I wasn't even planning to do today, just to mess around, it's been so much fun. I started off trying to play with Twitter, and that blew up. Oh, Jeremy, I'm going to have to zoom you in a little bit.
Yep.
Well, that's really what I want to ask you about.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Yes, because I have something at 3:00 today. Well, in 2 hours.
Okay.
Because everybody's in a different time zone.
Yep.
So, and I already tested it from desktop and it worked fine.
Okay.
And it picked up my right microphone, but I never use the virtual mic in Ecamm.
Right.
Just because I don't do all the different things that you guys do.
Yeah.
I use a virtual camera all day, every day.
I just found a bug.
Even though right now I think I'm not using the virtual camera.
Nope, that's the right way.
I'm just using the regular. Oh, that's interesting.
Sorry, Jeremy, are you a bit zoomed in? Let me just try and. Whoa,
it's okay.
So that's why I asked you about LinkedIn audio, because with the LinkedIn audio, you can talk from your computer. You don't have to use the phone. And I was wondering if you had the same issue.
So, LinkedIn audio, I haven't used it, no. But with Twitter, I originally did a Twitter Spaces, but it was on the phone, and I did some weird routing testing. I think you saw my video. It was all a bit convoluted. So when you mentioned about desktop, I was like, great, I can just use this now, no problem. But I haven't yet been able to get, because I'm always using the Ecamm virtual mic, and it might just be a setting. But I looked in Chrome, and Chrome has got access to the correct mic. It's just maybe I'm not finding where Chrome is actually telling me which mic I'm supposed to be using. That's the only thing. So there's permissions. Right.
They actually changed it, because in fact, I did a video about it years ago, that you had to go and make sure that you chose the Ecamm virtual mic inside of Chrome. But it's not even like that anymore. It only gives you the options, because I didn't even know that until you mentioned it the other day. And I actually talked to some of my friends who are Google experts and all that stuff. And they confirmed that, they simplified it. So now you either, whatever your default mic is on your system, you either give apps access to that mic or not.
Okay, so it's just whatever the default setting is. So in my...
That's why I asked you what's the default on your Mac.
Yeah. So I did change that as well. I did set that up. I'm just checking. So it did say, so my input is Ecamm Live virtual mic, and my output is whatever. So yeah, I just need to double check then the Twitter application within the Chrome security preferences that it's got access to that correct mic. Because I think you just said mic. I didn't even check which one it said. So that's probably what my issue was.
It doesn't give you a chance to choose. It just says mic or camera.
Nightmare.
To me, that could be a detriment to folks like you all who use all these different cameras and different. But for somebody like me, it was perfect, because I don't even use the one mic and one camera.
I mean, I've no problem.
That's
with
all
Chrome.
I use. That's all I use. Just the one camera.
I have no problem with Chrome selecting the default settings in my and honoring whatever I set in my preferences in my system. That's fine, as long as I know that that's what it's going to do. But when I tested before, because you've got the recording afterwards on your Spaces, I couldn't hear. I was like, no, this is all muted. So obviously something's wrong. So I'll test it again and have a play with it. But I mean, you've got something coming up very soon, right? You should be fine. If you've not touched anything, just don't listen to me. Just don't do anything. Just do what you do.
Oh yeah. I'm not really that worried about it, because if push comes to shove, I'll just start up on my phone. But I do like the option now.
Yeah.
And I'm noticing that even in this, and I don't know if it's because this is my first time coming in here with you, because I was just on Zoom yesterday and I just checked, and I did have the option under camera to choose between Ecamm or the FaceTime camera.
Right.
Today, I don't. I just have face camera.
Okay.
And that's why you're seeing so much of my background. You all seeing it. Everybody on YouTube's not seeing it.
Right.
But
yeah. I'm with you.
That's why you're seeing all this, because I'm not zoomed in, because I'm on the FaceTime camera. Now I could go to Ecamm and change the FaceTime camera to Ecamm. But
Yeah. Well, Zoom updates every 3 minutes for me now. Zoom updates, Discord updates.
It's kind of like Discord. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because you said, Jeremy, and thanks for joining, by the way. It's appreciated to join.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the first time we've ever been sort of live. I know we've talked to each other. It's like Keith, face to face across the world. But this is great. Yeah. This is working well, I think. The Zoom integration's a big thing, I think, for Ecamm. And it's working really well. We've got people
I just
all over the world.
Though,
yeah,
there was when you have the Ecamm, the output set to another monitor. So I'm talking through my teleprompter right now.
Right.
If I have it set to play to the teleprompter, which is just an iPad, it will default to my camera view. I don't see the Zoom. I don't see what I'm seeing right now, which is all 4 of us. So I had to turn off that output and then just resort to the program window, which is what I'm seeing now, or I guess it's the Zoom window.
Yeah.
And so it seems to me that if what is going out, well, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure Keith and Glenn would give some kind of logical, definition of why it is the way it is. But to me, I want to see on this screen here whatever's going out to the internet. So,
well, that's down to the host as well. So the host, I have to spotlight my Ecamm output, which is in Zoom. So everybody has that default view. Now, if somebody was to share their screen, that would completely mess everything up. So when I started this meeting, I spotlit this Ecamm window for everybody, and it says on my thing, remove spotlight. So if I remove the spotlight right now, it might mess things up a little bit. So now if I spotlight again, it should put this Ecamm view, spotlight for everybody, front and center. Does that make sense? Did that work for you guys or not? What are you seeing now, Eileen?
I'm seeing the regular view that I saw when I first got here, but right now the quality is degrading.
Oh, is it?
Like crazy. Yeah, like we're like 420 or 4 whatever.
Okay. Cool. All right. Let me make us.
I'm not seeing that on my end.
Okay, so
and
again,
we were fine before you did that. Whatever you just did, we were fine.
So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Basically, is what you're saying. Don't touch it.
Don't touch it. Correct.
That's the deal. Yeah, I shouldn't mess with things.
So, it never switched from the 4 of us on the YouTube stream.
So I've got us on a
the
big monitor as well, so made it full screen. So what quality are you seeing now, Eileen? Because you guys are coming in, you were coming in at 1080. Now, Eileen, you're coming in at 720. Jeremy's back to 1080. What's going on there? What did I do?
What am I still at 1080?
Let me check you. Yeah. Sorry,
cool.
Eileen.
And I've got the 3 I've got my 3 desktops on with your 22 thingamabob playlist running on each one of them.
All right, thank you. But Eileen, you look good on this side. You're looking good quality from and Keith is saying, it's all good. It's all good. So no worries about that. This is cool. Okay.
So I'm going to ask because he won't ask. So can I ask you all who's in, if you've got time to play one of Neil's playlists, because he's not that far really from getting his 3,000 watch hours to get monetized.
You're trying to break the system. I'm not asking for that. I wanted to do it organically, but it's
come on, Neil. You know you want those super chats.
I want that $3 every time I go live. I want to buy myself a Starbucks.
Well, this is it, Neil. If you're not making them, you're just asking, and if people do, you're going to get there quicker.
All right. Keith is my sounding board now, and I'm just going to put Keith he's my agent. He's on the front of every live stream. No, it's like
I'll tell you what.
Keith, before we start,
when I built up the fish round, I cold door knocked, and I got breakfasts, I got coffee, I got tea, I got tea cakes, complete strangers. Because if I was door knocking in the morning and I knocked at the door and I could smell the bacon frying, I used to go, "Excuse me, I know I'm being cheeky, but have you got bacon butty?" And they go, "Yeah, okay then." All right.
We might have to translate, Keith, for Eileen and Jeremy right now. They're going, what language is this? What language is this? Sorry. You got to remember,
it's over the Atlantic.
Yeah. So Keith and I are from the same part of the world, but so what Keith is saying is bacon butty is a bacon sandwich or a bacon wrap or a bacon bab. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. Just
I watch a lot of Midsummer Murders.
Oh, do you?
Oh,
Parole.
You're familiar with these crazy languages. I mean, my wife and I have been married nearly 10 years, and she's from Houston originally, and she's always saying to me, what did you just say? What was that? I'll come up with a phrase that she's never heard before, and I have to then explain what that is. I keep saying it's two people separated by a common language. That's basically how it works. But that's fine. That's fine. We can
You
deal
already
with
got the male-female thing, and then you got to deal with that. It's like
right.
I ain't saying nothing. This is live, Jeremy.
So what I did was I closed all my other tabs.
Yeah.
Because I had which I didn't have a lot. It was like 3.
Okay.
Other.
Okay.
And now the everything looks good. And I took a screenshot too, so I'll send it to you.
Okay, cool.
But
Let me just
now
check
it's
here.
fine. Once
That's
I close
weird.
down the other tab. Yeah, it is weird.
Zoom does a lot of this
Very
rate
weird.
adaptation thing. It adapts the quality depending on who's connected and things like that. It's not like it's not set it and forget it type of thing. So you're not guaranteed to get the highest quality depending who joins and so on. So it's a bit hit and miss, I find sometimes. But
so
for me,
we're on your
good.
Zoom account right now, right?
You are on my Zoom account right now. Yes, I'm the host. You're all coming into my Zoom account. Yeah.
Okay.
because you do a series with Jeremy, don't you now?
Me?
Yeah,
No.
you've done quite a few live streams with him on yours. Yeah?
With Jeremy?
Me? No.
No,
No?
I haven't done
Oh.
anything. This is the first time Jeremy and I have spoken
I
face
thought
to
you had.
face. No,
Jeremy and I hang out
Yeah,
sometimes
I thought I'd seen.
behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. All right.
Oh,
That's that Splinter
on
channel
now.
you guys are doing. That's
Sorry.
a secret.
I'm not supposed to say anything.
That's a subscription model only, right, Eileen? I get you. That's fine. That's
All right,
the,
so
the Ecamm only fans.
So can you leave my seat open, because I just told you that I'm using a browser.
Yeah.
I want to come back in without the
Yeah.
browser. Let me go back to Instagram.
Your
'cause
seat
I
is
remember I
always
closed my
open.
tab.
This scene is
All right,
done.
so-
You're good.
Because I know how
You
confused
don't want her to
get when
come
you-
from Philadelphia, man. She'll
No, I know how confused you get when you have to, switch how many
No
guests
problem.
you have on the screen.
This is what
So
we're
just
testing.
leave me there.
You are there. I'm gonna
Yeah.
put you anywhere. You stay right where you are, Eileen.
No, I'll be right back. I'm going to come in
All
on a
right.
regular Zoom.
Okay, cool. See you in a minute. Goodness. So, I really enjoyed, Jeremy, your Meet the Ecamm found the other day. That was insightful. I didn't know you beer and did all those things and so on. So, yeah, great.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun to talk to Katie. When you're in tech, as long as I've been in tech, there's a lot of stuff, and you just kind of forget it all. It all kind of runs together after 30
Right.
years. It's
okay.
but it was definitely been a journey, like she said. Yeah.
And how long were you in, let me just add Eileen, how long were you in tech for then?
I've been involved in technology since 1984.
Oh,
When I
okay.
was still in elementary school, and I was
Okay.
the IT department for my elementary school, because nobody else knew how to put a graphics card into an Apple IIc. and I said, well, that looks like that goes there, so if it blows up, it's not my fault. So,
There you go. So
and
you
it
got in
worked.
the default.
Pretty soon we had an image coming out of the Apple IIc, and
Oops.
I was like, okay, I'm in charge of IT, and that was it. That was the start of it.
Sorry, Eileen. Sorry, it's me who's moving you. You're not moving. Oh, you're on mute, I think, Eileen.
So, are you still in tech then, Jeremy?
Well, yeah, this. I do this now, but yeah, I took a slight detour about 10 years ago, started a brewery, and that was supposed to be my kind of my final thing that I was going to do before I, retired, and then COVID hit, and that just threw everything out of whack. So check it went, but it was cool because, I got a chance to use a lot of the tech that I had learned doing what I was doing before. It was just mostly advanced, like 3D graphics and stuff. And I was able to apply that to the marketing and various things that I did.
Because I've always wanted to learn Blender. But because I'm the age I am, it don't sink in, and I have to watch it, do it, do it. And it takes me hours and days, weeks. But because, I'd love to be able to do 3D graphics, but
it's fun. I mean, I did a couple of books when I was single, and I had time to write a book. So I was product manager for 3D Studio from Autodesk, and that was in the days when they were switching over from DOS to Windows NT. That's how far back.
Windows NT. Well, Neil, you'll have to get Jeremy on and talk about his brewery story. I'd love to know.
Yeah.
Because
I have PTSD from that man.
What beers did you make then?
Huh?
What beers did you produce? Lagers
and ales. I mean, it was basically what people wanted to drink, and it's interesting within Seattle itself. And I think this is probably like any other place in the world. Within a city, there's different neighborhoods that have different demographics and obviously different tastes, right? And so when we moved our brewery from one part of the city to another, we went from kind of the Microsoft, Expedia, Amazon headquarter spots down to more of a blue collar. So we had to get into doing lagers when we moved, and that was quite the experience. But no, it was fun. It was fun. But yeah, we did a lot of different beers.
Yeah. So you got any bottles left then?
Nope. I actually just gave my.
You can see where I was going, Neil, couldn't you?
Yeah.
He's going to send them over to you from the US. That's
yeah. I have about a half keg left of something. I don't know what's in it, but that's about it. And I'm not shipping a half keg, which is 50 liters. I'm not shipping 25 liters to overseas. That
doesn't sound worth it. Yeah. Eileen, welcome back.
Yeah, can I say I forgot that we had to update Ecamm yesterday.
Whoops.
And my virtual, if you're a beta tester, you're supposed to, you're supposed to work for your beta. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there you go.
So here's a test, because my camera, even though I gave Mac all my permissions that I thought I was supposed to give it, it's not showing up. It's not showing up. The virtual camera is not. I clicked camera by mistake instead of just clicking that little select a camera. There's no virtual camera there.
So you recently updated the Ecamm live beta, and then that would have installed a new Ecamm virtual cam as well.
And you had to jump through hoops, and I don't know if you have
those
done
permissions,
it yet?
basically. Yeah, I have them on the latest.
Okay, so after I did all my permissions inside my Mac, see, I can ask you guys this because you all already know how these things work.
Do you have the little cam logo in your Ecamm feed, the little red?
No. So my question is, how do I turn that on?
Well,
it should be on.
Well, you don't need virtual cam for Zoom anymore because that's built in.
I want it to be my default camera on my Mac.
Yeah, understood.
Right.
Okay.
But it's not even showing up as an option. As I mentioned before, in my browser, it wasn't showing up as an option. But now I'm in Zoom and it's not showing up as an option.
All right.
So luckily we're in this cropped view because, Neil has this scene set up. But normally, if I were hosting this and it was just me or whatever,
Yeah.
You would see all the stuff that I always crop out. Okay.
I know what you're
I don't want
saying.
y'all to see
I know
all
what
this
you're saying.
stuff.
Well,
I'm not going to go full screen. Don't worry. I'm not going to go full screen.
It's not
because
bad stuff like the
that looks
window.
good.
Like
Looks
people don't
okay.
need to see the window.
it's a cone of cleanliness. So we got.
All right, let's work out what's going on here. I'm going to we'll have to go through your system
virtual
settings.
cam under the output pull down menu. The virtual cam is, does it say in use?
All right, hang on. Output virtual cam. No, it says ready.
Click in use or just check it.
No, there's no
checkbooks anymore.
In use.
It just says
It
ready
says
now.
ready.
in use.
Yeah. So it is in use. It's somewhere. Obviously, it's been it's somewhere. Let's take a look at. I'm just going to look at the. Because it's probably got the security settings needed to be enabled.
Yeah, those are the hoops that I was talking about. And now my friend just came in and turned on a game or something. Hang on 1 second.
No worries.
I'm pleased I ain't got Ecamm. No.
That's all right.
I just had to shut the door.
So in your let's look at this real quick then. So if you go to system
I'm going
settings,
to my Mac settings, right?
System settings, privacy and security.
Okay.
Scroll all the way down to the bottom under security. Do you have anything that says allow or something blocked or system extension blocked or anything like that?
No, but let me try to remember. What was it that I had to turn on yesterday? Okay, so under camera, right?
There's a few places, yeah, unfortunately.
Oh, I had to add. Oh, that's not where it is. And that's probably why it's not there. Yesterday, I had to allow permissions to the Ecamm virtual camera. Right? Not because Ecamm Live Beta has always had permissions.
Right.
Okay. But now when I go to my privacy and security, that is not in the list of cameras.
It's same for me.
The Ecamm Live Beta is.
Yeah. I don't have that as well, Eileen. I only have Ecamm Live Beta in my camera settings. It's a system extension. So in theory, it should be system-wide and installed. I'm just looking because there isn't anywhere where it has the Ecamm Live virtual camera on my system. I'm just looking. I just have Ecamm Live Beta. And
okay. Well, where was that? We had to do that.
I don't know. Maybe that was the older
virtual camera yesterday.
I'm not sure.
That's in your security settings inside your system preferences.
Yeah,
right?
That's where I'm at. I'm in my preferences. I'm in privacy and security.
So as soon as you install that virtual camera, you have to go in there and then you just say allow. There's a little button that says allow.
Yeah, under what? Under what, Jeremy? I'm in privacy and security.
Yeah. Well, no, it's actually, let me see if I can pull it up here. So you're in privacy and security, and where would it be?
Yeah, that's what I'm confused about.
I would be more inclined to just go to just uninstall the virtual camera and reinstall it again, and then we can go through it together while you're there.
Make me cry.
I mean, that would be my option because
be right there.
You could. So, do you have Ecamm Live running right now, Eileen?
Yes.
Yeah. So, if you go to output,
I'm going to uninstall.
Yeah.
I see where it was because we just went over that. I'm with that part. Okay, so I'm uninstalling now. Of course, they make you log in now every time you do something because you might not be you.
I am learning.
I love that. That should be the slogan for all security, right? You might not be you. Done. That's it.
Yeah.
It asked me to uninstall, and so I said uninstall, but I don't see anything. Nothing's moving around or whatever. So
I think just remove it. I would then just quit Ecamm Live if you can.
Might as well because it ain't using the virtual.
Yeah. And then open it up, and then we'll
open it up again,
and then we'll get to reinstall it.
Okay. Now let's go back to output.
Yeah, and you should be able to install.
Install virtual cam. Okay. Installing the virtual cam.
So then it should ask you for a password.
Not me again, but no, it's me this time. All right, so now it's system extension blocked.
Yeah.
Cool. Blah, 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 blah. So now I say open system settings, right?
Yep.
Yes.
I did that.
Okay, now look down towards the bottom there.
And security all the way down.
Okay, it says system software from application Ecamm Live virtual camera app was blocked from loading. So I'll say allow.
Yep.
Allow. It'll ask for your password.
It might not be me again because, you know, I probably left the room and some stranger came and said here. Okay, so now it says virtual cam is installed. And I can
there it is.
There it is.
There it is. Whoops. I'm going to zoom you out. Hang on a second. That's
my bad. Yeah.
Whoa, there you go. Woof. Whoa.
All right. Some pimples that I have there. And
now you put your foundation on. You know you.
That's
might
okay.
have been a little booger. No, I'm just kidding.
That's okay.
Kidding, you guys. All right. Yay. I'm glad we figured that out.
I'm just going to
stream.
I'm going to put you in the right place. Oh, there you go. You can move.
Yeah, let me zoom. I can do my thing now.
Okay, you zoom out. You do what you want to do. All right.
And now we're all like even.
Yeah. That's what I like about Ecamm. You can set it all up so you're all roughly the same. Yeah, because I hate it when I watch live streams and you've got somebody real close. The other
somebody's
one's
like over here.
Yeah. And it don't look right, does it?
No, it looks a bit odd.
You know, your head is bigger.
Yeah, that's right. That's the problem with Zoom, right? Until they got this new layout thing where you couldn't do anything in Zoom. You ended up having to just, you know, how many calls have you been on in Zoom and people like somebody's like, all you can see is their eyes, you know, because it's just completely.
Now, real quick, Ecamm is telling me that I need to quit and reopen. So I'm going to do that.
Okay, you can do it. No problem. She's gone again, but we can still hear you. Ah, there you go.
Well, that's quick.
So,
yeah.
You must have like a Mac Studio or a Mac Pro or something.
Launched like that.
I'm on the M1.
Oh, okay.
You're on the M1.
Yeah, I've only got an M1 as well.
Quick then, Eileen. Very quick.
There you go.
Thank you.
You didn't have OnlyFans loaded. That was it.
That's what it was.
That's a resource hog. That's a resource hog.
We're not meeting later, Jeremy.
I know it's all gone PG. It's not PG-13 this show anymore. It's all gone 18 plus.
No.
And I see my little camera icon.
There you go.
I'm so glad I was
Life is good again.
Thank you. Thank you all for helping me troubleshoot
That's
that.
all right.
Keith, even you were back there. Rah, rah, let her get it.
Oh, dear. I was going to say that it would be a hoot later in the year to have yourself, Eileen, Jeremy, Keith, all as guests on the Creative Amplifier show, because I just want you to sign up and get in there, because we've only got one more slot left and that's taken now, and then we're taking a break for summer, and then we're coming back in September. So yeah, please get on the link and sign up. We'd love to have you as guests, and I'd love you to have it be a guest on my show as well. It'd be a hoot.
Yeah, and anytime I like being guests on anybody's show. Me,
this is great.
You know, I mean, the only problem is I do tend to take over.
Well, that's okay. We can rein you in. Well, I mean, we can all compete.
That's what the mute button's for.
Exactly. The thing is, you can't mute people individually on Zoom yet. That's the only problem. I can't mute you individually on Zoom. I don't think. Can I?
Could you? Do you have control over Keith's camera feed at the moment? Like, so we're seeing the 4 across, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. In what way?
Could you do? Is he an overlay on your screen? Is that what it is?
Yeah, so he just comes in as a camera, basically, yeah. So I can zoom and pan and put a LUT on him if I wanted to, change some color.
So you can't mute him, but you could like pixelate him or something.
Oh yeah, I could obfuscate him.
Oh,
yeah, that's right.
Go on then, let's have a look at it then.
Hang on a minute, let me just find.
Let's have a look at the effects that you
Britain's
can do.
Most Wanted, you mean? Something like that. Do you recognize this man? That type of thing. Hang on.
Oh, don't forget this is going out live.
I can just blur you out, I think, Keith. Can I blur you there? Hang on.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'd love to know what you've got. Yeah.
So we're joined by somebody from the UK who really doesn't want to be recognized right now. We'll just call him Keith. And yeah, I can make you see.
work for the DWP.
See, I can make you sepia if you want.
Have you been paying your British taxes?
Shh. It's funny true story, real quick, Keith. Funny story. I met somebody at a gathering in Portugal. And there's a lot of expats out here, right, from the UK. I walk up to this guy and say, "Hey, how you doing?" He says, "Who do you work for?" I said, in IT. He said, "Do you work for the government?" I said, "No." He said, "Oh, okay then. Let's talk." Like, what am I, a tax inspector, going up to people going, "Are you a tax exile from the UK?" You know, it was very weird. It was very weird and quite funny. So yeah, you mentioned tax inspectors and things. Anyway, we'll pay our taxes. We're all good quality citizens here.
As far as you know.
As far as I know, and I don't want to know.
Now.
Basically, we're live, Keith.
You know.
Anyway,
I'm retired.
That's all right.
The only taxes I pay is when I get me check every year from YouTube.
All those super chats that come in as well. That's right. Exactly.
I don't have any super chats.
No, I don't have any super chats as well.
I've turned it off because I don't like people giving me anything. I don't mind food, but money, I think, no, I'm not worried about that.
Right.
I live a
buy me a coffee.
There you go.
Yeah, I live a very basic life. No debt, no overheads, and everything.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, we're the same. Definitely.
So I just want to make a quick follow-up. If anybody actually watches this replay,
no chance.
The privacy and security that I was looking for earlier, and you guys were trying to help me. It's a separate box after you go down cameras, input monitoring, blah, blah, blah. Apple advertising. There's a separate little, it's not a box. Well, yes, I guess you call it a box that says allow applications downloaded from,
right.
And you got two options, App Store or App Store and identified developers.
Right. Yeah. Check that.
But when I was asking y'all that earlier, y'all were like, "Well, I don't know where you're supposed to go."
Well, but the thing is, though, if it's not popping up at the bottom, then you won't see it. It's not there, so you almost have to kick it off again, kick off the process. I have had that problem as well with the Elgato prompter. When I first got the prompter, and it was, the software was dodgy as hell. Still is, because it's Elgato. Yeah, it's still a bit dodgy. That caused all kinds of problems, and that's why I ended up doing that video to help people, because it's like, well, I am stuck with this, and it's like I have to go through hoops and add this and do that, but eventually it works, and it's been fine ever since. But yeah, it's a bit weird, I have to say.
Actually, I think Ecamm definitely needs to make sure they update the documentation on exactly what steps that people are going to see.
Right.
Because everybody, at this point, everybody who has Ecamm uses the virtual cam.
Yeah.
Right?
Pretty much.
Not everybody, but let's say 90% of people.
Yeah.
And this is a total different workflow.
Right.
You see totally different options.
Yeah.
And they definitely need to document that. And they should have documented that for us too. But it's okay, because I love Ecamm.
Speaking of which, real quick, are you I know Keith won't be because he's not an Ecamm person yet, but are you both coming to Create Ecamm in October?
I knew you were going to say that.
No.
I think I answered you on your...
Oh, did you? I'm sorry.
Your stream, and I said, yeah, no, I don't get out much. If they come to Philly, I'll go.
That's just down the road for you, right? Just down the road. You're not flying to Boston.
I'm not getting on a plane flying to Boston.
Okay.
No way.
Okay.
My daughter lives in California.
Ah, okay.
That's the only person that I get on.
Oh, yeah.
And my grandson.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. But anywhere else?
I used to love to travel and all that stuff. Yeah, been there, done that. I'm over it.
Okay. You're not a flyer.
Neil,
that's fair enough. Yes.
Just a quick question. Can you see the raised hand?
I was going to say, why is your hand raised?
I can.
You're testing the hand raise.
I can see it. It's not on.
Oh, that is good. So if there's a few on, then
yeah,
I didn't know what it.
It's still the same.
If you've
Zoom
got
window.
something to ask, you just raised. That's good then.
But I have to be looking at it though. Sorry, I have to.
I was going to say, you've got two different ways to look at everybody, and
right.
So right now I'm looking at you guys.
To be looking there.
Yes, exactly. I'm right now looking at the four of us in my Elgato prompter, so I can maintain eye contact. Keith's hand raising is in another window at a monitor down here where I have to physically look. And I don't get a beep. I don't get a notification saying somebody's raised their hand up. So if there was 30 people right now on this call, heaven forbid, because nobody would watch that, I wouldn't be able to see them. So that's
well, see, I go on a church service on a Sunday, and there's 50 usually in that.
Oh, in a Zoom call?
3 screens.
Oh, right.
Yeah. On 3 or 4 screens. There's about, what is it, a maximum of 16 or 20 on a screen. And if we want to ask the question, we raise our hand and it stays on until we click off it. So, people look.
Yeah.
Putting Zoom comments on screen. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that works really well. That works. But yeah, you're right, Keith. If I don't see it,
you had to look at a whole different monitor to see that?
Well, I see when chat comes up though, it's in my peripheral vision, so I can see some activity there, and nobody chats much in my stuff.
That's part of Ecamm.
Yeah, that's part of Ecamm.
That's part of the Ecamm window, right?
But the Zoom thing,
yeah, that's actually kind of interesting. So what I'm looking at is a hybrid of Zoom and your feed. Right. So you said you're at a 2-to-1 aspect ratio, which actually works out perfectly for this because all the thumbnails of people that are in the Zoom meeting are across the top.
Right.
And then we've got the 4 crossed right beneath it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. 16:9 would squeeze into that a bit. But I can see that here. I didn't realize I've only been on about 3 or 4 of these, but the one I did with DJ Strict over the weekend was from my iPhone, so it was a totally different layout completely.
Right.
And yeah, I don't know if I don't know. I kind of have mixed feelings about how we can control this stuff.
Well, you always have to keep your eye on a lot of things now. Yeah, that's the only problem. Yeah. It's almost like, when you're in a Zoom meeting, because if I just go to live demo mode, it's going to get messy now. But this is my Zoom window down here, right? I know it's crazy, with everybody down here. So where Keith raised his hands, it will be in this little window at the top here, right?
Yeah.
This little window here is really hard to see. And then because I'm concentrating on conversation and just keeping my eye on the comments, go ahead.
You know what? It also shows up in the Zoom window in Ecamm when Keith.
I'll do it again then.
Do it again. His hand.
It does, but you got to have that maximized or have everybody in there. So that's the other thing. So I can see it. That's great. So I need to zoom out of that window to make it small. See? So on the right-hand side, yes, absolutely. I can see your hand is up now, and your hand is up here, and your hand is up here. But I've got to look at these places, So there's
when you get used to it, it's good because if you do have more than one on, instead of people talking over each other, you just raise your hand, and then when you finish with whoever you're talking to, then you go to that participant. So it is better because when you've got 4, 5, 6, 7, people do tend to talk over each other, and I've learned to use that.
So,
what?
Keith, you said that Neil, when Keith raised his hand, in your camera switcher, it also showed up there as well.
Let me just check camera switcher. I don't have. I only have 3 monitors here, Jeremy. I just need to.
Yeah, I believe it showed up in the camera switcher because I saw it when you did the virtual. You did the demo.
So it shows in the Zoom camera switch. There's 2 camera switches.
Not camera.
No, sorry, not camera switcher. Camera effects. Let me look at the actual camera switcher in Ecamm.
I'll put it on anyway.
Thank you. Just 1 second. Camera switcher. So in the camera switcher, all sources. No. So where I do see it is in the Zoom window on the right-hand side. I see it in the gallery view at the top, and I see it in the participants list in Zoom.
Okay, so we also need a glossary.
The thing is, I know, right? There's so many different terms now, because if you look at all these windows, it's mental. So here's the Zoom participants window, the Zoom window, the Zoom camera. What would you call this? Camera window. Then there's the actual camera switcher.
So the lower half of that screen, the live demo view that you just had, the lower half is all the Zoom related
Yeah,
stuff,
this is the
right?
Zoom window
Ecamm's
here.
up top.
Yeah, so if I move that out of the
Right.
way, you can see that
Yeah.
that's the usual stuff. But this is the Zoom window.
But that Zoom participants, that small box off to the right there, that's a Zoom window, correct? That's generated by Zoom.
This is Zoom.
Ecamm.
So this is actually where I can mute people individually, but I couldn't do it directly in Ecamm. So you have to be a bit. You have to be a bit. What's the word? Ambidextrous, right? You have to be. You have to be playing around.
So can I ask a question?
Yeah,
in
sure.
Ecamm, then can you have
You
a
didn't raise your hand.
producer?
No more questions for you.
You have to raise it like this now. Go ahead, Keith.
Yeah. Can you have
skill.
a producer producing your show?
Yeah.
as well,
so
when
as
you're
a
live.
well, technically, what people do
You really
is
got to trust that person.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
so-
You've got to trust them. Yeah.
No, I mean, really, like more than you were trusting.
No,
before.
I know.
Yeah,
Like,
'cause-
especially when you're doing, camera switching and things like that. So
Yeah.
Joseph, who was on before, he's a client of mine, and I remote produce his. He does live video podcasts
Yeah.
sometimes, and he also does just pre-recorded stuff. So I will help him do the switching and things, but he's quite
Yeah.
autonomous and do it himself. But in Ecamm, like you're doing right now, you guys could come into my production and say it's Eileen's show. She would have to then trust me to run through all the scenes, do all the comments and things like
Yeah.
that. But she's the talent, and she'd just be talking and doing a thing. But yeah, she's waving the finger of shame because she wouldn't trust me to do her show. But you know what I mean. You know.
Yeah.
So yes, the short
I
answer
don't
is
even
yes.
trust me to run a Zoom.
Yeah. In the cloud-based system I use for going live, even
Right. Yeah.
those people in the green room, I can talk to, and you can't. When I'm doing the live stream, you can't hear me talking to them.
The back channel. Yeah. So
Yeah,
you can do that. So that's an interesting test. So you can do that currently in Ecamm, in Ecamm's interview mode. So if everybody's muted, like on the thumbnail screen, like I typically have a countdown or something like that, you can all jibber jabber in the back, and everybody's muted. Now in Zoom, it adds some complexity. I believe you can still do that. If I was to mute everybody now, we'd still be able to hear each other, but it wouldn't be going out to the live broadcast because I'm muting you in Ecamm. However, if I'm talking something not very nice and the participants are in Zoom, then everybody in Zoom can hear me. So it's only the broadcast. So you have to be very careful with that. There's no sort of back channel to pick up, as far as I'm aware, specific people. So like say if I just want to, if Jeremy and Eileen want to just talk to each other and not include myself and Keith, heaven forbid, then that might be a problem. Because
we'll see in EasyMux, I can do that.
Right. Yes. And you can in Ecamm to an extent, but this is different.
Yeah.
So
well,
Florence
the problem is what you have now is you have two ways to bring in guests. And because of that, I suspect it won't happen with this version, but there will have to be a unification of the UI so that if they decide to keep interview mode around, which I hope they do, because I think that you don't have to have a Zoom subscription for that to work. And you have definitive quality when you're bringing in your guests for your ISO recordings, right?
Yes.
So whereas with Zoom, it'll scale depending upon bandwidth.
Right.
You have that if you bring in and you're planning on doing post editing and you want to have people in, that this person's always going to be 720 or this person's always going to be or 1080. I wish they would just bump everything up. But anyway, but having a unified interface would make a lot of this complexity just kind of fade away.
It is difficult at the moment, and Florence brought up a good point. Will there ever be a true remote production inside the app? And it would be nice to be able to do that, because right now, I mean, I was thinking about this as well. If I wanted to remotely connect to somebody Zoom like we do now, you do a screen share with somebody, you can remote connect to them, you can take over their desktop and things like that. If that was some sort of, however, built into Ecamm, where then you could do like a true remote production, I could just be switching scenes for Eileen's production, for example, and so on. So there's a few things that you can't do at the moment. And you're right. What you're doing is you're taking two apps and you just sort of clobbering them together. I mean, it's done in a good way because Zoom has got the ability to do that from an API perspective, but it's not cohesive. There's a few things. I think they need a lot of Stream Deck integration. And if they had some Stream Deck buttons within Ecamm for the Zoom parts, that would help. But there's some questions coming in.
Really nice is if Elgato could ship stable Stream Deck software. That would be really
no, come on now, Jeremy. That would be asking too much. Thank you very much. Fixed Point, thank you. It looks amazing. Will Ecamm ever come out for a PC? I doubt it. It gets asked a lot. I don't think so. There's alternatives. You know, you've got vMix.
Just say no.
Is
Just
this
say
the
no.
drink contest?
Just say no.
Or is that
no.
iPad? I forget which question it was. It was
no.
you know, somebody asked this question.
I'll just say, because I've been using it probably longer than you all here, that Ken and Glenn are Mac developers.
Yeah, that's right. That's
right. The only way they could probably ever do a Windows thing would be to hire a whole team.
Yeah, and port it. No.
Developer. No, and you can never say never because hey, people's business models change.
Yeah.
And the internet changes.
It does. Yes.
Can I just ask the question? Do you think Ecamm will ever go VR in the Apple VR headsets?
I don't know. I think Apple's VR headsets, the Apple Vision Pro, I think from what I've read and seen,
I could see that happening
in the future. Yeah.
Well,
I think it's
very
version 1.
Joining in on Discord through his Vision Pro, and so what we see right now is, what do they call it? The persona. So we see Luis's persona, which is creepy AF right now, but that's what you see inside of Discord,
right?
And so I mean, it could happen, but I think clearly there's a lot of development to be done.
I think
so.
Be
interesting though.
Definitely.
It'd be interesting.
I don't know if the business model would support it at this time.
Yeah.
Right. Because there's very handful of people have the things. So they would have to devote a lot of their time and energy and all that into actually developing for it. So that's way down the road, but it's a better possibility than a Windows version.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So Florence's question real quick was...
I'd like to add, I'm sorry. Can I just ask Keith a real quick question?
Yeah.
You're a fan of EVMux then, right?
Yeah. That's what I use for live streaming.
You may have seen me in some of their...
Yeah, I have. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And I had a question that they never answered. And I just think that it wasn't that they were trying to be rude. I like EVMux.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they're there. But it was like they couldn't wrap their heads around my question. And so bye. See you later.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't need you. I'm trying to help you or where you could fit with me. And if I keep asking the same question and you're not understanding what my question is,
right.
I don't have time for that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but I think Ecamm beats it anyway, because I mean, what I know about Ecamm, I mean, Tim uses it, you all use it, and I think if I had a Mac, I'd definitely use it. Does it work on an iPad?
No.
Oh God!
No, they've asked that question. They've drink.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Because I've been looking at the new iPad Pro 12-inch when it comes out.
It's not even going to work on the old Macs after.
No, after the iMac.
So why can't it be used on an iPad?
It's not. The iPad doesn't have enough.
It's just not got enough horsepower right now. There is a software that does work on the iPad for live streaming. It's called Camo Studio. Now, Camo is a sort of a partner joined at the hip with Ecamm, and you've heard of Camo, and they do the phone application to make your phone look a lot better as a webcam. So they've got Camo Studio. It's free actually for the iPad, and I've been meaning to test it out and stuff. But the thing is, it's not in my workflow, and I wouldn't want to use it because again, you got Stream Deck
Switcher.
and Switcher and
Switcher.
yeah.
Switcher Studio is built for the iPad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Switcher Studio. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
No, so I'm going to have to when I go on a few of these Ecamm live streams, when they're going to throw away the old MacBooks to upgrade to the M2 and everything like that.
Get a decent M1
you want to go that you do not want to do any Intel based.
No, it's got to be the Apple Silicon now. Definitely.
Yeah.
You
don't. I got to get ready to go.
Okay.
It's been so much fun.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you
very much
for helping me.
We'll see you soon, Eileen, and see you on some shows. And you're welcome as a guest anytime, and we'll get something set up.
3 p.m. I'll be on Twitter. Oh, that's in 1 hour.
Spaces.
I'll be on Twitter Spaces with the Social Cafe.
If we're off this thing, I'll probably try and join you.
I'm just saying.
All right, no worries.
You could always catch the replay.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Take care of yourself, Eileen.
See you soon. Bye. Have a nice day. Rest of the day.
I forget how to leave because I forget where. No, I'm just kidding.
So funny.
It's so funny. So I'll get to your question. Sorry, Florence. Yes. So the interview guests max out at 720p using interview mode on Ecamm. That's as much as we can get, unfortunately, with this version at the moment. And that's where Zoom comes in, because obviously Zoom participants, depending on the host that's hosting the actual Zoom thing, you can come in at 1080. And both Keith and Jeremy are at 1080 as we speak, which is great. Any other questions? Oh, does Ecamm have plans to have a web-based like StreamYard? How do they compare if not? Well, Ecamm is a Mac-based application, effectively. And StreamYard, I think, is great, but it is limited in terms of, I think, some of the layout and the customization and some of the integrations right now. And it depends on use case. If you just have a single camera with some lower thirds and you want to go live and this, that, and the other, then something like EVMux, StreamYard, or even Restream is great. But for me, I just want to have more control over what I'm doing and to be able to do stuff on the fly like this, which is hard to do in StreamYard. And I'm going to get rid of Eileen's view and just mess around a little bit and get these two gentlemen a little bit bigger and so on.
I like the slimming look. So
you just keep it?
I do.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll just keep it then. It's fine. No worries.
No, you can do what you want. That's all right. No. You're in control of the show, man. It's all you.
It's all right. It's all right. I'll just make it.
But that's good that you can do it in a live show, innit?
Yeah, exactly. This. I wouldn't normally be messing around with this like this right now, but at least I can, just get us all centered and so on.
It still would be nice to have those variable driven, text fields.
Yeah, I agree with you, because it is a pain to keep having to change people's names. If you could inherit it even. So because Zoom, you put your name in when you join on the Zoom, right? And it would be nice if it would just inherit your name and pop it into these overlays. That would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, can you hear me okay? Because I know I've had some problems with the mic. It was a bit low before. Is it loud enough for you? For both of you?
You sound fine.
Sound is lovely. I ain't got the sound bar in. I'm just on the laptop. Okay. I can hear it perfect.
All sounds good.
How about, am I coming through okay?
You are sounding really nice. Yeah, I like the mic. That's the pod mic, right, using? Sounds good.
No, this is the Electro Voice RE20.
Excuse me. Sorry. Just
it's okay.
It's blasphemy.
I just like
a road mic? He says road mic? How dare you?
There's no feedback at all. And I don't wear headphones.
Well, that's Zoom is taking care of that, which is good, and that's another good thing for using Zoom, because I've had lots of problems. I don't know whether you've done stuff with Ecamm, Jeremy, with the interview mode, but it's not been like 100%. Right? Sometimes you get this slap back for no reason, even though people are wearing headphones. Sometimes it's a bit sort of hit and miss and things.
Yeah, you know what? I do this show based on Cajun cuisine and Cajun life, because I'm from Louisiana.
Yeah.
And I do that with my cousin, and he's based in Mobile, Alabama. And of course, I'm here in Seattle. And the two of us, we did a recording last weekend, and we sounded fine. But then I went and played back the main mic audio, and his audio was duplicated. Mine was fine. His was duplicated. And
That's
it came
crazy.
down to my Rodecaster Pro settings and Ecamm settings, because it had been a while since we had done a show, and I must have screwed up something with mix minus, because I think USB 1 does not have mix minus. I think that's what it is.
I think, yeah,
So
and you have to
I had
override the
switched over
settings.
from USB 1 to chat.
Right.
Chat has mix minus.
Right.
And then it was fine after that.
I had the same problem.
So,
Customer recorded an entire podcast and it was duplicated on the guest side. So I had to do some faffing around to get it, manually, because I couldn't re-record it.
It's a pain in the ass. Yeah. I now record everything to separate, like all my audio, because the chances are, if one is incorrect, the other one will be okay.
Right.
And it's not nearly as taxing on the Mac to record audio streams. So if your video is looking good and your audio for some reason comes in like I had, if I had just selected one more checkbox, my edits would have been fine. But because I forgot this one, or not checkbox, but it was a combo box, and I think I selected primary mic, and I shouldn't have. I forget what I picked, but it pulled in the whole show as an audio file. So it was him and me, and I wanted just me, and so he was fine. He was soloed. But the two, I couldn't get one of us. I couldn't get myself isolated, so it was
that's painful.
Audio editing nightmare in Final Cut.
That is painful. And Keith, so for your understanding, so Ecamm has the ability to just, what I'm doing right now is I'm recording this as well as streaming it. So all your audio streams are coming in as separate files, or they will be recorded as separate files and stored. So it is great because if people's levels are different or there's some distortion or something, you can put them through various AI cleanup tools now and get the best out of them and make decent podcasts. I don't know whether you can answer this question, Jeremy. I think I know the answer. Does the Streamer X have mix minus? I think it's the same software, right?
I think I believe it does. That would be more than likely you'd have to go through what? Is it Road Central?
Yeah, Road
to
Central.
Toggle that.
Yeah,
whatever their software is, because they don't have a lot of hardware based things. But you can't. I don't know the official answer to that, but my guess would be that it would almost have to, given that your audio options are pretty limited, and you want to, if you're playing a game, for instance. And because that Streamer X is really aimed at the gamer community, pull in their streams and talk over it. But if they were pulling in their game audio through HDMI, plus they had their mic, and then that was going out and coming back into the main recording, you'd have duplicated audio. So I'm guessing that it's a mix minus situation.
I'm just looking on their website. They say it has, it uses Rode Unify, which is their other software, just to make it more confusing. And I think it has the ability to, because if it uses Unify, you can take out you can mix what you want in the various streams. So it's a bit more.
It's got like
visual.
The routing options, like the Rodecaster has.
Yeah. So yes, Florence, we think. I'll just go for the Duo, and then you'll be safe. Or even the Mackie, right? The Mackie's a great device, right? You see that Mackie device?
I've not played with it. I've seen Doc play with his.
But... Yeah, that's all I've seen. I've looked at a few reviews in it and stuff. But it depends. It just depends on your use case, right? The Streamer X could be perfect for. You don't even have to have a mixer these days. I mean, just a USB mic is if you've only got one mic and stuff like that, you're good to go. So, what's your audio routing
looking
channel?
forward to the day, and I know it's not that far away, where Rode is going to integrate Streamer X capabilities into a Rodecaster Duo/Pro form factor, and then you'll be able to
just a USB.
Use the mixers on your Rodecaster to do audio and video switching, kind of like an ATEM mini. But,
right, yeah.
You know, you would have that would be a Camlink killer right there, because you'd have audio and video all in one. That would be. I would dump my Camlinks in a heartbeat if it meant just if I had to use 2 USB-C ports to make it all work. I'd be fine with that. Absolutely fine with that.
Yeah, I got rid of my Camlinks. I was doing multi-camera setup. My wife sometimes does video as well, and there's a little room outside where she has a camera, and I was trying to bring everything into Ecamm. So I bought like a couple of Camlinks, and they just kept freezing, getting too hot. So I took the plunge, saved the money, and ended up buying a Decklink quad. It's so expensive, but you know, just getting 4 inputs and just 1 output interface into the system is great, and it's been flawless. You know, it's been really good and no problems. But it's quite overkill for a lot of people. But if they did have, and what annoys me is it doesn't seem to be a good alternative to the Camlink, and it's really annoying. I know you mentioned that other Elgato thing. Well, why is there nobody else bringing them out? Why is it all Elgato for the Camlinks and things? It's quite.
You know, I don't know, and so I it's called the Streamer. It's what, Streamer X 4K?
Or something silly.
Shoot.
There's 2. Yeah.
It's got the pass-through HDMI on it.
Yeah.
Not Streamer X. That would be Rode.
I'll have a look.
Whatever. It looks like a little spaceship, like black spaceship.
Yeah, it's thing. The Elgato. What the hell is it called?
4KX, maybe?
Capture here. It's called it's the 4KX Pro or something. Hang on, where's all the products going?
Well, the Pros are not Mac compatible.
4KX.
The Pros are the ones that go in the PCIe slots.
Right.
What about the YOLO Box Pro?
Which one's that?
I've only known a couple of people who played with the YOLO box so far.
YOLO Box Pro. That you can have 4 HDMI inputs in, and it's for live streaming outside as well. Where it works, you know. I have used one because a friend of mine's got one, and you know, you can have like 2 or 3 phones put in, so they work together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the signal to boost the signal and everything. Right. Oh, absolutely brilliant! I think they're about 1,500 quid.
Oh, wow.
Something like that.
Okay. Well, it's way more than the Decklink.
but they work in the studio as well.
Right.
And they've got similar graphics to what Ecamm's got.
Yeah.
You know, you do all the sports overlays.
Right.
You do
that's like a hardware switcher then, Yeah,
it's hardware.
It's a built-in. It's a built-in broadcast studio.
It's the 4KX. It's called. According to their website.
So I bought one and I returned it actually the exact same day.
Yeah.
Because
Why was the reason?
I plugged it in. Well, because it says that it supports 4K 60p.
Yeah.
It does not on a Mac.
Really?
The Mac would only identify it inside the hardware configuration screen. You know, you go about, right? And you can
look at USB and
pull up all the different speeds.
Mm-hmm.
It was capped at 5 gigabits, and meanwhile, all my other USB 3 devices were all singing along at 10 gigabits. So I'm assuming it's a driver issue, but you know, Ecamm's not very forthcoming with that. They say yes, it supports it, but then it doesn't. So that's kind of rough. A drag, because I mean, not that capturing for live streaming at 60 makes any sense, but if you're recording and then you have that 60 frames a second, if you're trying to show something, or you know, you want to be able to put in your own motion blur and post, that kind of stuff.
Right.
That would be cool to have, at least that flexibility. And if you're just chewing up hard drive space to store that 60p, then that's your own choice. But to make it so that you cannot record. I mean, basically the cam. Where the hell am my cam link? Oh yeah, this guy. This one is it supports the exact same resolutions as that new one.
Right. Ah, okay. Yeah. So there's no.
It's like, well, what's the point?
What? Yeah. What is the point exactly? It's no good.
So
and that's the issue.
I did see that Sonnet had an enclosure that you bought the Sonnet enclosure for your deck link.
No, I bought the OWC enclosure from.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Yeah. It's an older one, I think.
Their PCI Thunderbolt enclosure.
That's it. Yeah.
Is that what you bought? Okay. So Sonnet also sells a chassis that goes into a rack mount that will hold a Mac Mini, and it also has PCIe slots in it.
Oh, that's cool.
So you could have an Ecamm Studio in a server rack format just by putting in an M2 Pro Mac Mini and then having that deck link in there. And then you would have
that's super cool.
4 HDMI device capability plus the networking and all that other fun stuff.
So it's like a 19-inch rack mount sort of unit that you could just slot into a rack standard. That is cool.
It's a 1U, so it's,
that's cool.
It's just the standard 1 unit. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
So
that's bit really more outlay there, Neil. Bit more outlay.
No, I don't need anything else. There's nothing. I don't need a rack in my. I used to have routers and all kinds of stuff back in the day for networking, but all that equipment is long gone now. Goodbye, IT. I don't like you anymore. But we're still doing IT every day, though. That's the thing, right? It's still technology we're dealing with. It's just a fun, different type of technology. Florence says that she's actually using the SM7 Plus with a USB. Cool.
Oh.
See, perfect.
Nice.
Because you've got all the because that's the one now with the DSP built in, right? All the digital sound processing, so you can have compression and sort of some noise isolation. I think was it Doc who did a recent review, or somebody else did it? I've seen it a couple of times.
There's actually several out there.
That's a good one, actually. It's a good mic. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's cool because a lot of the manufacturers included are getting into having the software controls, download to an EEPROM on the mic, and then that's stored, and you can take your mic wherever you go. So all of your settings, your compression, stuff like that. So even if you're on the road and you don't have access to a PC, everything that you set up that is good for your voice will be stored with the mic, and you just hook it in. Like I've got this. I did a video on this. The Shure, the MVX2U. Which is it's a XLR to USB-C adapter that just plugs into the back of an XLR mic.
That's cool.
And I got this to work with my Pocket Osmo 3. So I had an XLR microphone hooked up, which kind of defeats the purpose. But it's not Pocket much anymore. But
no, but that's great. And it's phantom power, right? From the USB-C?
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. And actually, I've got one of the DJI mics, the new ones, the Mic 2. This thing was powering the Shure with phantom power today.
What?
Yeah.
Cool. That's amazing. So that truly is portable. That's crazy. So you could have an SM7B with, or whatever you want, basically. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Cool. That is cool. That I'll have to have a look into that then.
So that's
have you done a video on it then, Jeremy?
I did a video on the Shure unit. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. That's on my personal YouTube page. If you just look up Jeremy Hubble.
I didn't know you had one. I'm only subscribed to the Occasion one.
The Basecamp.
Yeah. The Basecamp. Sorry, that one. Yeah.
So I gotta redo it because somebody made a comment. It'd be really cool if you showed the connections on that.
Right.
I think I was so excited that it worked with the Pocket 3. I was like, I got to get this video out. This is really cool. And then, somebody's like, it would be really cool if you could show how it is all put together. It's like,
so have you used the Pocket 3 live streaming outside?
Yes.
With that?
Yeah. Actually, Neil, you saw the video I did with the drone, right?
I did. Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool.
I was live streaming with a drone and a Pocket Osmo 3 through Ecamm all at once on the Facebook. So I took my drone up, and it was hooked into Ecamm as a camera source, and then I had the Pocket 3 going into, because I don't mess. Look, DJI's implementation of live streaming sucks. It's terrible. Every device that they make, it's, you have to know RTMP.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, if you're buying a Pocket 3, you don't know the first thing about RTMP.
You just want to plug and go, right? No, you just want to.
It's a pain in the butt. So you plug it in as a source into Ecamm. So I had the Pocket 3 going into my laptop, and then I had the remote control feed from the drone going into my laptop via a cam link, and I was able to talk into the camera and pilot, so you could see the feed from my drone in real time on Facebook.
Cool.
It was pretty cool.
No, I saw that. It was really good, and I can't remember whether
I definitely got to get a Mac now.
You got to get a Mac, man, because there's so many. It's easier. It is just, and I've used PCs for many years as well in the IT world.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. But I switched to a Mac 15 years ago because I do audio and video production. So I was a big Cubase user on a PC, throwing VST instruments on Cubase, and that the PC used to blow up. And I used to be forever buying upgrades just to get the thing to keep running, right? You know what would happen?
Yeah.
Software would upload. You get updates to software. You need more horsepower, and so on and so on. So I finally bit the bullet, and I ended up getting, originally my first Mac was the original Mac Mini, and it was life-changing. It was like, this is great. And that was I think it was Power PC, right? Back in IBM chip or something, I can't remember what it was called. Was it Power PC? The chip that they had in them?
No, the Mac Minis were always Intel.
Were they
based.
Intel? Even the first one? I can't remember.
The very first ones.
Yeah.
I built an entire business around the Mac.
Right.
Back in the day, so I remember.
You remember it
fondly.
And that was great. I still have it, still in the box. I must get it out one day for nostalgia purposes, see if it ever runs. But yeah.
I do have a Cube here on the floor.
You do?
The
original
power,
Cube?
Yeah,
I remember.
Yeah, I've got the Cube, and I've got a YouTube branded iPod. The original YouTube branded iPod, which was a red disc and a black case with the band members all etched in, their signatures etched into the
very cool.
We're getting off.
That's cool. That's cool. But yeah, I mean, Keith,
I could wax poetic about tech gadgets for hours.
We're in the right place then, definitely. But I think, Keith, just for ease of use and just because there's a lot of good software out there for the Mac that just works, I've had no problems. I don't have issues with drivers. I don't have issues with like all the things that you have to mess around with for PC. A video I did a while ago for my Rodecaster video, people were asking me about, well, how do you connect it to a PC? I thought, well, it's similar, but there's a few different workflows, especially if you're using MIDI with it. So I ended up loading Parallels Desktop as a trial on my Mac, and then loading a free version of Windows 10. And I got into it and was like, I don't like this stuff anymore as I did 10 years ago. It hasn't changed. I still have to load all these drivers. I'm like, I couldn't be bothered with that. It's too much. It's just too much hassle.
No, that is the problem. I mean, I updated my desktop editing one, Windows 11, and I've got 3 internal SSD drives as well as the main drive, and it knocked. I did the update. I lost all 3 SSD drives, so I had to reformat it.
Oh my God!
Take the drives out,
right?
And then put them in separately. Back in, saw it. I thought, brilliant. Now every time I update a bit of software or Windows, it knocks them off again. So then I've got to turn the PC off, leave it for an hour, turn it back on, and the show up.
I think you're answering your own questions here, whether you should get a Mac or not, right? I mean, you've just answered
And I look, but I mean, the PC I built, it cost me £3,000 to build, because I mean,
right.
I learned how to build PCs and everything like that.
But you end up spending that, and then people say, well, Macs are so expensive. But when you start putting all the components in a PC and you start buying stuff, you think, well, hang on a minute. I could have bought a $2,000 MacBook Pro here.
I wish I'd gone the Mac way in the first place. But, because I got professional editing software,
Right.
And at the time, it only worked on a PC. It now works on a Mac.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right?
I use Grass Valley to use broadcasting software to do my editing and everything.
Okay.
I've always used that from
that's what you know, right?
Filming business,
right.
So
right. Well, everything that I'm running right now on this system that I'm throwing a lot at it is just a Mac Studio M1 Max. I think it's not an Ultra.
So you haven't got the Mac 2 then?
No, I just got the M1. I mean, I've had this now for 2 years. It's got 32 gig of RAM, and it never. I mean, I'm not saying never, but touch wood, it hasn't crashed or failed or anything like that. No matter what I throw at it, I never hear the fan. That's the thing. I had an Intel i7 iMac that I had for 7 years. I threw Ecamm at it. I started to do more live streaming, and the fan was so loud. You know what it's like. It just kicks in, and it's like, I can't hear this anymore. It's too noisy. So I decided to take the plunge. But I've not been disappointed with the M1. What do you have, Jeremy? What do you use? The M2 or?
I've got the Mac Mini M2 Pro.
Okay.
But I only have 16 gigs of memory because Apple didn't sell. You'd have to get it customized with 32 gigs.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was impatient. I was sitting at Costco and I'm like, there's one right there.
I want one. I want to go buy it.
Like, I'll just take it. And in retrospect, I probably would have gone with a 32 gig version. Because of the unified architecture and the shared memory, Ecamm will utilize everything that it has available to it.
Yeah.
And
right. Okay.
As soon as you start hitting swap, I don't care if it's an SSD. God help you if you're on like a serial, ATA drive or something like that. But that will slow down your Mac. And that is the thing that the M series has going for it is that its thermal properties are such that it takes a lot to get it to overheat and get it automatically throttles itself. But there's nothing you can do to stop running out of memory. I mean, if if you have a bunch of windows open, which I sometimes do, and I run Activity Monitor on the Mac, which is kind of like a process monitor. I run that 24/7. That's always running on the Mac because I want to see where I'm going with things, and I don't click on the CPU tab. I click on the memory tab.
I'm curious. I'm going to run it now and see what's going on.
I use that because it helps me understand what apps and what windows specifically are being utilized by the system, and more often than not, you'll see like a Chrome window or a Safari window occupying a gigabyte of memory.
Right.
And you're just like, Jesus, it's a browser window and it's taking up that much memory. And if you only have 16 gig,
I know. But nowadays, I remember the days when we had 512
of RAM and
512 meg,
Yeah, I mean, I had I think my first real computer was either an Apple IIc or the Commodore 64. But anyway, with 16 gigs of RAM, Ecamm, like for me right now, running it.
Yeah, I'd be interested to what yours is doing, because I've just checked mine.
So I have Photoshop running, and that's my fault. But Ecamm's 1.5 gigabytes of memory at the moment.
All right, so mine is running at 4.1 gig. But then again, I have a lot going on with it. I'm streaming, I'm recording, I'm processing your video, I'm doing all the compression and then pushing it.
You're doing far more on your side than I'm doing on mine now. And it says that I'm using wired memory. I'm using 14 gigs out of that 16. So I don't need Photoshop, so I'm going to quit it.
Yeah, it's funny when you see things open. I mean, I'm just looking. So the Ecamm Live Zoom window for me is nearly consuming 1.4 gig of RAM. Yeah. And the Ecamm Live Helper, whatever that is 2.8 gig. So like what?
Yeah.
So it's quite a lot of memory already. So Keith, if you do get a Mac, get as much RAM as you can afford.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Well, it's the old thing, right?
On everything.
You can never have enough memory because, as Jeremy said, you know that when you start swapping, you're done.
Yeah,
and nobody wants that.
Yeah,
nobody wants that.
All of a sudden, your video starts getting choppy.
Right? Yeah, I know.
It's funny because I come from the industry where we used to push, with 3D graphics, we were pushing computers left and right.
Absolutely.
We had. 386s with math coprocessors. That was the only way the software would work. So you had to buy the math coprocessors separately, and there was a little, pin socket for it. And I remember, when we got like 4 gigs of memory and a 1 gigabyte graphics card, and oh my God, that machine was probably $8,000 or $9,000 at the time.
Yeah.
And now my MacBook Pro, which has 32 gigs of memory and has 16 gigs on the graphics card, was a fraction of that, and it's still not able to handle Ecamm. So I've always been, I don't know why I do this to myself, actually. Why do I keep getting involved in industries where we have to have the best hardware out there?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's masochism.
I know. We all need to take up pottery, and then all we need is a wheel and some clay, and we're done. That's it. There's no tech there, right?
Yeah,
I swear.
But then you won't meet.
No, we wouldn't meet people. No, exactly. We'd be bored. We'd be like, well, I need to do something now. I need to buy some tech.
I mean,
but I'd actually have a bank account.
Well, there is that. Don't let a thing like bank accounts get in the way of good tech. That's what I say.
I look back to 1988 when I first started videoing, and I used to correspond with someone in El Paso, Texas, someone in Bundaberg, Australia, someone in Thailand,
right,
and someone in Japan. And I used to do 3-hour VHS tapes, and you'd talk like we do, or go out with your video camera, send them. And that was back in 1988 when I did that. And I thought, God, I'd have loved the internet to have been around then, and met them, talked to them like this. But it was never met them. There was just video vloggers. We talked together on go, and that was back in 1988. So you think how long ago?
I know.
Whereas now I can talk with you in Portugal, Jeremy in Seattle, and me in England. Fantastic. And you can get all the help that with a community that you build up, you get all the help that you can, And I mean, most people don't charge for it.
No, that's the thing. And we've said before about the communities, specifically Ecamm's community, and even at Creator Camp last year when I went out, it's just just the nicest bunch of people. I've worked for so many different corporations over the years and going to different types of conferences and things. And there's a certain type of person that goes to conferences and then, you meet and it's like, okay, here we go again.
Say no more.
You know what I mean, right? Say no more. And it's just nice when you get people who are there because they want to be there, and they have the same common interest, and they have the same passion, and people are just decent and nice. It's not where you're thrown into. It's like when you work in an organization, you don't choose to work with the people you work with. You are thrown into the people that you work with, and you have to get on with them. And it's a different thing. You don't choose your community per se. So that's why, this has been a great community for me to join, and just a breath of fresh air from the corporate world. And it's very nice and very wonderful people that you meet, and everybody's very helpful. And you very rarely get you get the odd sniffy person on the Facebook groups, but there's 16,000 people on that Facebook group. You're going to get one or two, right?
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. That's actually something that I mentioned to Katie earlier in the week when we were talking. It's just the community and this whole family mentality that Ecamm has fostered. There's very few companies that you run across where the user community is as strong and as healthy and helpful as something like Ecamm. This reminds me a lot of when I was running the brewery, because we were all out to stick it to the large manufacturers, the Budweisers and things like that.
Yeah, sure.
So we were all in this together, and so there was that mentality of helping each other out. And,
of course, yeah.
And it's the same thing here. It's just, you know, but it's a different, it's the reasons are different, but the reasons for helping are very much the same.
The intent is the same. Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Which is brilliant.
Yeah,
you know,
it is wonderful.
That's what I like.
Yeah.
So, and I've joined your community now, and I'm not an Ecamm user.
Well, that's even, I didn't even realize that. So when Keith and I got talking before on this this test stream, that's now turned into my longest ever live stream at 3 hours 21 minutes, which is amazing. And I do appreciate you stopping around. This has been great, honestly. I didn't even realize that
I was just going to go spend money at the camera
Well,
store
there you go.
anyway,
Well,
so
maybe I've done you a favor today.
Probably best.
Yeah, there you go. You just stay there, Jeremy. Don't spend any money. But it was really nice to know that Keith. I said, oh, you know, I didn't realize that you didn't have Ecamm and stuff, but you've got an interest in the industry, and you've seen people that in the community and have a like-minded interest, and it's great. And I love that. Yeah, I love that, and it's wonderful.
Well, that's why your creative amplifiers. You know, I thought it's all about Ecamm. But
Not
now
really.
you've told me I can come on.
Of course you can. Anybody can come on. It's about creators. It's about the people and the community. It doesn't matter if you use Ecamm. We know you will eventually when you buy a Mac. You're just going to move over to the light side. We talked about the dark side. It's the light side.
There is one project I would like to do.
Right.
Have you ever seen that Day in the Life that YouTube did?
Day in the Life.
About 4 or 5 years ago? Where they got creators filming their life, you know, 10 minutes of their life in the morning and everything like that throughout the world. And they made a feature film of it.
Oh, I see. Right.
When I had me drone, I said to about 200 drone people, can you do 10-minute flight of your area and then put it up? Don't put it up to YouTube. Send it to me, because I was going to make a big compilation of around the world with droners, but it didn't come off, you know. And I've had many ideas like that where collaboration, the chances we've got of furthering our knowledge.
Yes.
Really, you know, because we're all from different backgrounds. And I mean, I'm very, I look at medical channels, YouTube, you know, hospice nurses talking about death and everything like this. And you think, God, if you all got together, what could you create?
Yeah, there's so many people from different, as you said, different walks of life with different aspirations and things. And I do believe that you should follow your passion no matter how old you are, where you are in your career and things like that. And that's why I made a conscious decision last year. Just like, I don't want to keep doing IT forever. I just want to take a break from it. I may have to go back and do something in the future, but for now, I'm consciously, and my wife are making decisions to not do the IT world as we both did. I mean, I was in IT for 35 years. It's time for a change and just follow a passion for a while, because who knows what's around the corner, right? You know, just and so on. And I think this is wonderful that Florence has said, you know, the community is so welcoming and different. And when we engage, you know, you've been on streams where it's been like a cold fish. Thank you for being in the Cheers bar. I mean, you know, that's fine. It's not what I was aspiring to do, but it's wonderful that you say that, and it's so nice that people feel that way about being welcomed in this. And I just find it amazing. And the reason why we did the Creative Amplifiers thing in the first place is we all met last year. I didn't know Mark and Lisa.
Ecamm,
I didn't know. And, you know, we had a few drinks and then, oh, wouldn't this be a good idea if we just got together after that? You know, and in the cold light of day, you think, wow, these people, it's a good idea. We'll still do it. You know, even after the drinks and you've sobered up and think, oh yeah, we'll still do this then. So, and again, it's not all about, you know, it's just about community. It's about people. You're a creator, right? You do stuff. You like creating things. So why not? And it's just nice that I see more people doing more channels. I like the fact, Jeremy, you're offering a course now, right, on basic and on Ecamm. And people say, well, there's so many courses out there on Ecamm. It's about you, though. You have a different teaching technique. You have a different style that can resonate with so many different people. It's not all about, well, it's just this guy that's going to do it all, right? And I don't believe that. There's everybody's got a following. Everybody's got fans and things like that. So there you go.
Sure. I mean, I talked to Alec before because he's got like a freaking Encyclopedia Britannica of Ecamm, shorts. And I just kind of said, hey, I was thinking about doing this, and I didn't want to muscle in on, your territory.
Right. Yeah.
He's like, no, he said that the whole thing is people may not like this British, bald guy giving them Ecamm, information.
Right.
They might not like my accent. They might not like my delivery style, so on and so forth. So, I mean, there's plenty of room in the pool for more people.
Yeah.
And I'm very much my strategy is less about getting up on a chalkboard and God, I'm dating myself right now, but getting up on a whiteboard, chalkboard, whatever.
That's all right. We understand chalkboard. We go further back probably.
I'm
but that's
much
fine.
less about telling people things, and I'm much more about showing them how to do it and then getting them to do it themselves. And that's my style. It's always been my style from when I was an instructor at Autodesk. And I think that that's the best way to learn personally.
Definitely. And it comes across.
So,
yeah. And I think there's plenty scope for everybody to do their own thing and so on.
Because you all have your different takes on different things. Yeah. So that's why. I mean, it's like me. I look at myself and I think 74 years of old. I just wish this had been round when I was your age, 50 or 40, because I would have made a living off YouTube because I know how to do it. I know all the system. I know the niches that you've got to be in. I mean, it's like my grandson. He's what's he? He's 38 and he's a multi-millionaire. He lives in Ibiza. He did that. He got injured playing football.
Okay.
And he sat on a computer, learned how to play poker. He came second in the big drop 5 years ago, I think it was, in Las Vegas, and he came second. So he won $20 million.
Jeez.
That year. He also won
Drinks from Keith then.
Monte Carlo.
Drinks from Keith then.
Right, exactly. Keith's buying drinks.
Okay. Keith's bringing everybody to Great Ecamm this year. Thanks, Keith.
It's my grandson. And I look and I think, he lives out in Ibiza. He's got a great life. Don't play poker now. Very little. But he's made a lot of friends, out of poker and everything. And I don't know what he does now, but he doesn't do a lot. Well, whatever he does, he's still making money.
Yeah. Well,
but
that's
he won't
perfect,
now, I've tried to get him on my channel to interview him. And guess what? He won't.
He won't?
Because I thought if he came on my channel, I'd get the views.
The thing is, it's a good story, though, right? It's a good sort of, I wouldn't say rags to riches, but it's a great story. You did. Yeah, well, why not? Maybe you just interview him offline one day and see if you can share it. That's maybe an option.
No, he won't even do that. And yet he bought me an Apple Watch. He bought me the Apple phone and everything like that. He's ever so generous, but he just will not come on.
There you go.
Apple
Get yourself a Mac Studio with 100 gigs of RAM and have your grandson pay for it.
Oh, he works on the Macs. He's got Macs.
There you go then.
Yeah,
Jeremy, just send Keith a shopping list, and then that's all you need, and just press buy now.
Just hand this to your grandson.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Matter of fact, have him fly me out to Ibiza. I'd love to go. I've danced to a lot of music from Ibiza, and I will be more than happy to take him on a shopping trip to the Apple store.
There
I don't know if they have one in Ibiza, but I might have to go somewhere in Spain.
I would definitely see a live stream of you dancing to Ibiza music, Jeremy. That would be
that would be
good. That's a niche right there.
Yeah.
Dancing dance.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. We could call it something.
I'll have to send you the link to the video they did on him when he came second in the big drop.
Please do, I think you're going to say his bank account then, but we can hope. One or the other.
I ain't got access to that.
Video's good. Video's good for a start. Oh dear. So, what were your plans today, Keith? Before I hijacked your entire afternoon.
to make a few sandwiches, cheese and cucumber sandwiches.
All right. Well,
because I'm sat here.
I've saved you from dodgy food then.
Been on?
3 hours.
3 hours.
Yeah.
Now, what is it? Do you know I've missed the Man City game as well? I was going to watch the Man City game.
I'm so sorry. We should all drop off soon anyway and join Eileen at 8 o'clock UK time for her stream.
And I believe Doc's on right now, probably waxing poetic about something.
See, it just shows you could do a 12-hour stream now, Neil. You've proven that you can do what is it? 3.5 hours?
3.5 hours, yeah. Well, I need some co-hosts. Like, I'm just going to take a nap now, and I'll see you in 3 hours. I think I'll be back.
Yeah. Well, that's all. That's the way you do it. You're the main host, and then you drop off and let somebody else take over.
Maybe I'll try
live
it
stream
one day. It'll have to be fueled by gin and tonics, though. I think that's the only way to keep it going and fall asleep at the end of it. Anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, the best live stream I've ever done
Neil's
was
head just facing the camera.
New Year's Eve. I did a New Year's Eve 12-hour live stream.
Did you?
That was brilliant.
Oh my gosh! Well, that'd be cool though, because then you can welcome the New Year in different time zones, right? Cool.
Yeah, and that was interesting. That's what we did.
Nice.
And
it's a good idea.
And then I did. Someone dared me to do a naughty live stream, and Bad Boy
Keith.
Keith.
Going back to OnlyFans, I can tell.
But a Bad Boy Keith one. So don't ask me about that. It's on YouTube, but it's unlisted.
Yeah, you brought it up.
Yeah, and let's all keep it unlisted, please.
Well, it was a Bad Boy one because I interviewed this young lady, and she said, "I will answer all your questions," and it was Bad Boy questions.
Okay, well.
Oh.
All right.
I'm leaving that to the imagination. I'm not telling anybody else.
Let's leave it at that then, shall we? All right. And on that bombshell, as they would say in certain places, this has been a pleasure. And,
where's all the sound effects coming from?
I think Jeremy said
that was me.
That was you. That was great. So I do appreciate you stopping by today. Just a casual, I'm just going to test this for 5 minutes and then I'll get some dinner. But 3.5 hours later, fantastic. I mean,
brilliant.
I can't think of anything about it. It's been a pleasure to have you both. You're welcome anytime. It's been great to test Zoom as well. I mean, this has been pretty rock solid, right? I haven't seen really any glitches on my side or anything like that. So.
No.
I think this is the third Zoom call I've been on this week through Ecamm, and it's always, I mean, I'm just still trying to navigate where things are.
Right.
But I'm getting the hang of it, and everything, I've not had any issues with it, and neither have any of the people who have hosted streams. So
great.
You guys were talking earlier about having call-in stuff. I was just chatting with my cousin. I think the next live that we do for our Cajun show, we're going to actually post a Zoom link and say you can call in, and we can bring, instead of calling in, you're Zooming in, and we just bring you into the
just
show.
As the audio side of things, you mean, instead of just on the video?
No, bring them in with the camera. I mean, assuming if they can join Zoom with the camera, if they've got that, then they get the, I'm sure a lot of people, well, not a lot. I know a lot of people who don't want to be on camera, but, there may be some people who just, they want to be on camera, and it's like, it's a perfect opportunity. So I figured, why not?
Wonderful.
Just give it a shot, see what happens.
Well, I'll have to, what's that channel called, Jeremy, then?
That one's called Rainy Cajun.
Oh, I'll have to
Rainy
find it.
Rainy is in Seattle, and then Cajun is
is that where it came from?
Well, if Neil knows it, he can send me the link.
I'll send you the link and so on. Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah. And your other channel as well, because and then I'll support you back.
Neil subscribes to. Do you subscribe to Rainy Cajun?
I think I've got both of them actually. I think I got both of them. Okay. I'll double check and I'll send you via email. Now I've got your email works, Keith. I'll just send you the email with the channels. And
I'll find you on my Facebook page, and then I'll friend you, because I mean, because I don't do Facebook or the others. I've only got like 100 friends on Facebook because. I never do.
No, you can join me on Facebook.
I've only stuck with YouTube.
Yeah, I only message people on Facebook. I don't really do anything on Facebook. So I'll send you the link for that as well. You can just message me and keep in touch. And I forgot, Jeremy, are you going to create a camp this year, Jeremy, or not? I can't remember what you said.
We will see.
Okay. To be determined.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope you do.
If I
because
sell a bunch of courses,
yeah,
then maybe. Yeah.
Great.
So that's the, yeah, I would love to. But I will be on Slack starting Monday.
So,
cool.
So when you go to Creator Camp then, Neil,
yes,
is Creative Amplifiers all going?
Yes. Yeah, we're all going.
So we're going to have a live with Creative Amplifiers from the camp.
Watch this space. Watch this space. Yeah, cool. and both and both Mark and Lisa are actually they're coming to Portugal in a couple of weeks because Lisa's coming over anyway on holiday. She's seen some friends and stuff, and Mark decided to come over for a couple of days. So we're all going to try and probably do a live from somewhere in the middle of Lisbon as well. So watch this space. Yeah. We're trying to do. Let's see. But yeah, that's the plan anyway. But yeah, it's been absolutely wonderful to have you both on here. Everybody who's been on today, and I just love this community. And feel free to hop on anytime you want, and I will definitely make sure that subscribe to the respective channels and stuff.
Yeah. And just to finish up, anybody who watches the replay, could you please watch one of Neil's playlists to get into the
get his watch hours up.
Love you, Keith. It's fantastic. Thank you so much. It's wonderful. Yeah, I'll have to hire you as my manager and just teach me how to play poker. Anyway, we'll take it from there. All right. See you guys soon. Okay. I'm going to end
Thanks a lot then, everybody.
Take care of yourselves. Cheers. Bye.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
See ya.